You've walked down the stairs, and there's a locked door to your left. And to right, there's a hurricane. Oh, it's a Dragonstorm! Hello, everybody! Welcome to Dungeon Delving for Tarkir Dragonstorm. We are going to be talking about our top 5 favorite cards from Tarkir Dragonstorm. That's right, our favorite, not the best. You're smart Magic players, you figure it out, i.e. both Planeswalkers from the set. They are both very strong. We won't talk about them because, oh boy, it annoys me. Anyway, we are that one right there, that one, and then this one right here. So we have some very lovely guests with us today. We have a very special guest. A new face is joining us. It's Benji.
Hello, it's me. Should I say this stuff now? I'm
Yes.
Benji the Brewer. You can find me all of the places that you can find Benji the Brewer, and none of the places that you can't. Which is better said as you can find me on Blue Sky and Twitch. I'm an EDH deck brewing Twitch streamer. I have wonderful guests on, such as these fantastic people. We spin a couple of wheels, figure out what the heck we're brewing, and then we have 60 minutes to brew it. If you like chaos, if you like EDH deck brewing, you should check me out. And I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for asking me. I'm really looking forward to telling you my 5-ish favorite cards.
Oh yeah. We I thought about bringing on somebody extra for these because normally it is my other guest Geek and Ryan with me for most of these recently, and so I was like, you know what? What's the fourth face? Where's the card? Where's the fourth face so I could put the card in the middle and not over top of my own jawline? Because that's what the editing's been like, and I have not been able to put it elsewhere. But now it could be smack dab in the center, where it's blocking none of our faces. But speaking of blocking faces, it's Geek! I had nothing better. There was no segue. I'm a good host. I ain't that good. There's no way. Jimmy Carson couldn't have gotten out of that one.
Fine. Hi, I'm Geek. I geekbeardly everywhere. Well, mainly Blue Sky and Twitch and Moxfield. Yeah, I do plane theme decks and shoot them out there, and I guest on these things, and I guest on Twitch streams as well. But thanks for having me.
And Tarkir's a very special set for you, actually, too.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
You may discuss that if you'd like.
Oh, Tarkir was the first actual plane that was released when I came back to the game 11 years ago. And I met my partner at a draft there. So, yay, Tarkir, thank you very much.
Tarkir, the set that brings us all together.
It's been a great set. Looks so good.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, as always, for joining me for most of the talking things, is my co-host, Ryan.
Hello.
And I'm your host. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ryan. I totally botched it already.
You're fine. They see me on Magic The Dungeoing anyway. They pretty much know where they can find me.
Ryan doesn't need an introduction. He's fine.
Yeah, I'm only on Twitch, mainly with you. And then if you want to find me on Blue Sky, you can find me I usually go by Merrick Ulbrich, but I have recently, just like how Geek has his playing theme decks. Mine is Kindred, so I actually go by Merrick Kindred Specialist on Blue Sky now. I love Kindred
Make sure
decks.
when you find him on Blue Sky, you bully him into posting, like I do.
Yeah, I don't post much. That is the one problem. I that's just me being shy, though.
You'll get there.
If I meet someone in person, I'm good. You're good.
Well, this is like the symbiotic relationship that we share. I am the extrovert, and I adopted the introvert here.
If it wasn't for Scruffy, 100%, I would not know any of yous.
And I am Will. And I am Will, also known as Scruffy Nerford. You can find me, obviously, here. And during the main campaign, I play Ilix Fullborn now. No longer called in Moon.
What?
Yeah, my colorless boy fell. Calden lost his life in battle 2 sessions ago.
He went out like a boss.
I fought 5 planeswalkers who were all enhanced by dark artifacts. Honestly, I took 2 of them down. I honestly, You know what? And it's funny. I brought up that I pulled Ugin, and I was just like, "Is this Calden's way of saying goodbye to me?"
It's Ugin's way of saying, haha, I gotcha.
Haha, I lived. You just imagine just that
There's
meme
only-
from
there's
texting
only
it.
room for one colorless walker in these parts.
It is absurd to think that Ugin and Nicol Bolas are back in the actual, like, in the realms.
It's the story's got a lot of implications. So many. I will say, kind of a miss that we're not getting a Johnny card.
I wanted to
Yeah, I
nab
do
that Ajani, please.
Yeah, I feel like that was. I definitely feel like that was a miss.
Just so set up.
I
So set up.
so did not think we were getting an Elspeth. Elspeth being the other planeswalker in the set, I was like, oh, okay.
But if you're gonna have a token doubler, this is a
Elspeth.
set for it.
This is also true.
How many token things happen in the set? So
True, very true. And it's the first white token. No, actually, no, it's not the first white token doubler in a while. No, O'Hare Talk and Mondrak. Never mind. Yeah, no, I'm wrong.
Yeah, O'Hare Talk was last year.
Believe so.
end of 2023.
That's what it was. Okay. And then Mondrak was the beginning of 2023.
I was looking through cards today, and then I saw that Exelon was 2023, and I went, "No, that was a couple months ago." I'm off again.
Oh man, the fact that we're getting burnout,
No.
like, we keep losing track of how long the sets are like between each set. It's insane.
Now ask me what the set at the end of this last year was. I don't remember. What was it?
Duskmorn.
Was it Duskmorn?
Yeah.
It was.
Duskmorn was like in October or something.
Duskmorn was so last year.
Like, oh god.
So here's a little bit of what's about going to happen for today. We're going to start off by reading some of the mechanics that are going to appear. There is 6 brand new mechanics. I'm including a new card type amongst the mechanics, and that will be read out. What we're going to do is we're going to read cards that have those mechanics on them. Whether or not the full card's going to appear on screen, or if my editing knowledge has been enough that I can just put up the thing itself, we'll find out together. So we're going to do that, and we're going to be going in the order of Benji, Geek, Ryan, and then myself for reading these things. And then for the extra bits that are on each one, because, for example, we're going to be talking about the mechanics. We're also going to be talking about the cons, the dragons, and the legendary land cycle, because there's actually something I want to talk about with legendary land cycles that have been appearing in sets lately when we're done reading those. But we're going to get started. We're going to keep this very simple. And is there anything anybody wants to say before we begin?
Good luck, have fun.
Yeah,
So-
I say.
It's just
I
so
have a cookie. I need a cookie.
I have a water.
You should hydrate.
Yes,
Oh,
hydrate.
definitely.
Does this one count?
Yes.
I mean,
It's carbonated water.
Does it whet your whistle?
Thank you, Circle. Hey, we're gonna go ahead.
I mean, Benji, thanks a lot.
And Benji, why don't you start us off with the mechanic you elected to read?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're starting off with Mobilize. This is the Mardu clan mechanic. This is an attack trigger. So anything with Mobilize will have Mobilize followed by a number. And what that says is whenever this creature attacks, create Mobilize number of tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. You sacrifice those tokens at the beginning of your next end step. So it is an aggressive token strategy that fits really well with Mardu's overall game plan.
I am surprised we have not seen Mobilize sooner. If I'm being 100% honest. Because Mobilize really does feel like a Boros keyword.
We've gotten things like it, but now
Yeah, I
it's
know. Like, cause
named.
to that note, like, I think it's Sky Knight Vanguard. Like, whenever he attacks, makes a 1/1. And I'm like, so it's basically Mobilize. But the idea that, like, Mobilize hasn't shown up sooner with how many aggressive army-like things that exist in the story and around the multiverse that we haven't gotten there before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The sacrifice element to the Mobilize tokens, I think, is what makes it feel the most Mardu. if you look at a lot of like Zergo's art and Nariv's art, it's very lightning based. Like their power and their influence is very quick and deadly.
Very much so. We'll talk about the Zergo card eventually to get into that. Right, you were about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say I 100% agree with what Benji was saying. Like, it's like you said, the lightning on the cards, like it's like within a flash they're there, they appear, and then they're gone.
I'm just glad they don't exile.
You need those death triggers.
I want my death trigger.
Altair! So now we're gonna go ahead and Geek. Which mechanic did you want to read?
I'm reading the Abzan mechanic, Endure. It's usually for an attack trigger. It's when the creature enters or attacks, endures number. And that just means you either put 2, 3, a number of 1/1 counters on the creature, or you create a white spirit creature token that has the power and toughness of the number of the endure. So I like it. It's very flexible. It's very Abzan. You can either bolster your defenses or, worship the ancestors. Get your spirit going. Get some help. Beseech.
This is I love the idea. First off, the tokens are great. I love the idea of it just being like 3 spirits rolling up to the bar, or just an elephant in armor. There's no in between.
Nope.
Benji, you were actually an ambassador for the Abzan clan. So
Yep.
I'm curious how you feel about Endure.
I think it's really cool. It does a good job of straddling the line of what Abzan was and what it has become. Because Geek used a really good word there, bolster, which was the old Abzan mechanic that just put +1/+1 counters on things. And this is sort of branched out a little bit to also include a token. So it makes for some really interesting gameplay decisions. And it's really up to what your deck does, which choice you make is better. Because I think they're both really good. I'm a big fan.
I'm not against it. Giving me extra tokens or extra power, I'm sold.
I love
absolutely.
flexibility and choice points.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Rye, what mechanic are you reading our resident Jeskai mage?
Mechanic I got is Flurry. So Flurry is basically, simply put, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you will get a certain benefit. So, for example, Quarry Mountain Stalwart is whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. The much currently right now sought after Quarry Steel Cutter, very good equipment. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess, and you may attach this equipment to it. And then one other one just is Poised Practitioner. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a 1/1 counter on this creature and scry 1. So Flurry, very Jeskai, like very spell slinging. Like Jeskai has been notorious for that. And they were really caring about second spell or like just like personal example for me. Like I am a Jeskai player, like through and through. Like Gavi is one of my decks I've been working on, and she cares about drawing your second card. But something similar to this in that regard. So this, like, Flurry is honestly the best way to sum it up. Like, it's a flurry of blows, essentially. The deck, or not the deck, but the color, the Jeskai color really relies on you just spell slinging, like, spell after spell to get benefits.
I actually did the flurry of blows thing just there, and I winded myself way more than I should have. And then I guess I will read my mechanic for this. I'm reading I'm going to be reading 2 mechanics, but I'm going to read the one that makes me feel more in tune with nature. Because normally I am a Sultai, which, judging from how Geek describes Temur, that would make me either a dry land Dimir or a soaked Golgari. Because Geek refers to Temur as moist Simic. I'm sorry, no, moist gruel.
Moist gruel or spicy simic.
Or spicy simic, that was it. So yeah, so I'm either a dryland Demir or a which actually sounds like Grixis.
It's righteous Demir.
Righteous Demir? Righteous Demir or a soaked Golgari. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna read Harmonize. That is basically you may cast this card from your graveyard for its Harmonize cost. You may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost by X, where X is its power, then exile the spell. This still does resonate with me because I absolutely love the idea of, ooh, it's in my graveyard. Play it again. You want to see me do it again? Yeah, this is just great. It feels like it's piggybacking off of what Benji said, where it feels like Tarkir Dragonstorm, they really tried to straddle the lines between the cons and the dragons. And Harmonize still feels very Teamer, even though it's like doing stuff from the graveyard has never been their thing. But when its power matters, then it starts to feel way more like something Teamer can do.
To add quick, like, sorry to cut in on you.
No, you're good.
We're debating now. No, to add to that, I think one of the big things about Teamer as a color identity across Magic's history at this point is that it has been having a real hard time of figuring out what it wants to do. Does it want to cast spells or does it want to be creature based? And this does a good job of saying, no, we want both. We want the cake and we want someone to eat it and not let us eat it because we'll just sit around and eat cake. I don't know what I'm saying here, but Harmonize is really, really cool. And if you've never looked at the card Calamax's Stormsire before, you should look at Calamax's Stormsire and just have fun.
Yeah.
No one else will, but you will.
I agree. The idea of using creature power to bolster your spell that's injecting green into Ezit. There you go. Perfect.
It was one of the things where Shan had a couple comments that I will, since she's not in the video, but I will state for her, is she said this is the first time that she can include blue in a deck and still feel like it's just what she wants to do, which is be aggro and be aggressive with a big creature, but include that blue element where she doesn't have to just go, oh, counterspell. Like, and so this is like where Capenna felt like they nailed down the shards?
Mm-hmm.
Or the shards. This feels like they nailed the wedges. They did this really, really nicely where it speaks to all people who love those color combinations. They managed to somehow go, well, what's the checklist of what these people like Benji was saying, and just go, just do all of it. The card I had brought up, by the way, is Mammoth Bellow.
Just flip those, by the way, because we're in wedges or shards now. So Capenna was wedges.
Okay.
Yeah. I had to look at the card back.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, are we sure? Because this is the same color combination as Ikoria.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
So these are absolutely shards.
Because they're the spiky ones.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. The more you know. That will not get an animation. I am not that good. So yeah, and then Benji, you've got a second mechanic. Technically, it's a subtype, but go ahead.
Okay. So we're here to talk about adventure. Oh, I'm just kidding. It's called Omen. They look the same. Don't get confused. Read your cards, folks. So these are creatures with a subtype that is either going to be a sorcery or an instant called Omen. And the way this works is fundamentally different from adventures. So it's very important that you pay attention. You do the spell effect, and then upon resolution, you shuffle the Omen card back into your library, which provides some very interesting implications to the card itself and what it can do in your deck. But most importantly, you're going to have to wait a while to get your creature, unfortunately. So you can't cast it and then
Not if you're
from
drawing
exile.
half your deck.
I
Like
don't.
me.
There's nobody. I would never.
I would never draw half my deck.
I'm not a good artist, so I don't draw cards. Pause for laughter.
I'm taking psychic damage again. This is.
I'm gonna add in the friends laugh track.
I'm being attacked again. Always with the puns.
Look, I just go here. I don't know what you're talking about. But I love Omen. I'm super fond of it.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. For context, I just recently built Hidetsugu Devouring Chaos, which cares about flipping cards off the top. So having dragons that you can, like, having cards that have a bulky mana value that I can cast for cheaper, that then also get shuffled back in, is just delightful. I'm such a fan.
That it was one of those ones where I was like, "This, oh, it's adventure. Wait, Omen, huh?" They are. It is very fun though. I actually think that the problem I have, the slight problem that I have with adventure is the idea like that you just have access to that card later. Like I can't do diddly squat about it. But Omen, it's just like no, there's a price to pay, an actual price to pay. You lose the card. I can't wait till somebody Narsets reversals an Omen. I just have to sit there and accept it and just go, well, there's going to be a dragon in about 30 seconds. Are they just on dragons?
I
don't.
Question. I believe so, but I'm going to go with yes.
I am also going to go with yes on that. I was just curious.
I didn't actually look it up, but I believe all of them are on dragons because it's the idea that it is letting you know that a dragon is coming.
Every single one is on a dragon.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The dragon is on its
13 of
way.
them.
Eventually, it might get stuck in traffic. Who
Wait,
knows?
13. That's an Omen in and of itself, isn't it?
Yes.
Wizards,
so.
you crafty bastards. And then I'm going to be reading the final mechanic. There is, technically speaking, there was 5 mechanics. I added in Omen as a mechanic. And the last one we'll talk about is for my boys in Sultai. It's Renew. And Renew is you pay a cost and exile the card from your graveyard to gain an effect of doing this. So Agent of Codis has Renew for 3 and a blue. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. I believe they all say activate as a sorcery. But the idea of a card having extra value while being in the bin, again, much like Harmonize, speaks something to the dark control part of my heart that I just can't get away from. As much as I want to.
Can't just use your spell once and be done with it.
Absolutely not. Bite me. And I just think it's great. There is one of the cards on my top 5 has got a absolutely bonkers renew cost, at renew effect, and we will talk to it when we get there because of course it's also art by Chris Ron, and I can't get away from him either.
Confirmed. All renew spells are played as a sorcery.
Cool. Okay, so there we go. I was right. I didn't even know it. So yeah, that's all the mechanics. Anybody got any? We talked about them a little bit. Anybody got any final notes before we move on?
I think they're all really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's not a bad mechanic I've seen out of this set yet.
Alrighty.
I think flavor-wise, I like Harmonize and Endure the best, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can agree. Can definitely agree.
I also like Abzan and Temur the best as well.
I think for
I'm
me,
slightly biased.
yeah, no, I understand. I think for me, I'm sitting somewhere between Renew and most likely Endure. I just like what Endure is able to do. I love choices. I love choices so much.
I think if I had to pick some, I don't think it would be the ones that I specifically mentioned. I love Harmonize, and I actually really love Flurry.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Anything that encourages you to do something a second time, I think is fascinating in terms of deck building and in terms of gameplay choices. And there's a card that we're gonna talk about later that fits really nicely into those two specific mechanics that I just fell head over heels for after I built it. So
I'm very interested to hear this.
Only other thing I could think of, like, technically, Behold a Dragon would technically that be a mechanic? I mean, there's only 7 cards that can do it.
Yeah, that's true. Behold a dragon. Guess what you do? I'll give you
There's
3
a
guesses.
dragon.
I'll give you 3 guesses. Your first 2
Talk
don't
on the
count.
Dragon. There you go.
Yeah, it was on so few cards. That's why I did not include it. And it also like
Literally 6.
yeah, I linked it to the idea of we're talking about the clans mostly, and that's why I went with the clan specific mechanics.
I don't know, that's understandable.
Plus,
Like you said, it's only
from
it's
the
only on 6
bottom,
cards.
the entire bottom of my ass. Fuck you, Sarkon. That's my 1 per video.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Sarkon.
still PG-13.
We can all-
We're good.
Yeah, still PG-13. I'm sorry that I
Dragon
stole it,
can
but
agree
like,
with you.
I love dragons, but Sarkon went about this the complete wrong way.
the dude tried to murder an angel, an archangel. We're not gonna get into it. I'm moving past it. Benji,
Yeah, that is a hole we don't want to go down.
let's talk about.
We gotta do Mortho stuff later. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna talk about the cons now, and we're gonna go ahead and start with Benji, who's got a special connection to his con.
I do. So today, for your listening and viewing pleasure, I'll be talking about Felithar, Dawn of the Abzan. I'm just gonna put a small little caveat in here, which is if you look up Benji the Brewer on YouTube, you can find my preview video for this, which is some of the dumbest content I have ever made. There are multiple classic Vine references. I put a lot of 30 minutes into this. You should go watch it. So Felithar, Dawn of the Abzan was my preview card, one of my 2 for Tarkir. Wizards was very nice to me this set and gave me some amazing stuff to do. But one of the things that I was really looking forward to was them at some point giving me a legendary creature, and wow, did they give me one. So Felithar costs Abzan, so white, green, and black. Legendary creature, human warrior. Felithar has a power and toughness of 3/3. She has trample, and whenever Felithar enters or attacks, you may sacrifice a non-land permanent. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. I built this deck. This card is nuts.
Excuse me one moment. It's just so the as we read the rest of the cons, you're gonna notice a little bit of power disparity. There's 2 cons who are absolutely bonkers, and Felothar's one of them.
Oh yeah.
The other ones are fine. They're completely fine. I think that they're good cards. They're gonna be fun to read. Felothar and the one geek gets to read. The Wizards was just like, no, those 2 are our favorites. You 3 go sit in the corner. It's pathetic. +1/+1 counter on a creature, fine. Each creature is silly, and it's a May.
In a world with treasures, and blues, and food,
Yeah.
And blood.
I
Like-
think my favorite
Oh.
thing about
yeah,
Felithar-
blood and junk.
and blood, junk, exactly. I don't think junk is. I think junk might be available in these colors from 1 card. Not that we're here
Yeah,
to
that's
talk
true.
about that.
That's true. Yeah.
But Felithar has so many build paths because of specifically the words non-land permanent. You don't have to
Yeah.
sacrifice a creature. You don't have to put creatures in your deck. It's just so nutty. I fully encourage someone to build an Enchantress deck with Felithar at the helm. There's really a lot you can do.
I
Mine
don't
was
wanna
pretty
build more
straightforward.
treasures.
Uh,
But now
Mine
I'm
was-
going to.
pretty straightforward. I tried to include as many new cards from Tarkir as I can, and this deck heavily influenced what ended up on my list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cards are
Felothar's
strong.
Felothar's kind of nutty. I have a Obzon food deck that I definitely need her for. Because I try to weaponize those food, and turning them into 1/1 counters certainly feels like a weapon.
I mean, I pulled a copy over, so
I will see you tomorrow.
So Benji has now convinced me to try to build Felithar treasures.
Ooh, Geek
I-
loves treasures.
I encourage you to
do.
try food or clues.
Why not? I can do all of those with Academy Manufactor.
You could, and Fey offering.
Oh, Fey offering. Totally forgot about that.
Offering is a really good card in the card I have to read.
Yep.
If you're gonna build that transmutation font, just give yourself something to sack every turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're done with it, sack the transmutation font.
Yep.
I want to build Abzan artifacts now.
The Abzan Monument, really good in Felithar. You play it, get your land, sack it to Felithar. You don't need it after that. Anything that has like an ETB, or if you put in enough recursion, nothing's off limits. One of my favorite cards in this deck to show you the power of Felithar is Evolution's. No, not Evolution Sage. Evolution Witness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the one from Modern Horizons 3. Whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on it, you return a permanent card from your graveyard to your hand.
That
Guess
one.
what? With the timing of Felithar, you sack it, have the trigger, get the thing back that you sacked.
All of Geek's wheels and rocks are turning. And going to the
Turn those
graveyard
rocks.
very soon.
This commander is nutty. I can't say enough good things about Felithar. Again, super pleased that they gave me this card out of all of them to preview.
So I will say this: we are going to talk. I was about to say for these ones, we were going to not go super in depth with any of them, but unfortunate little spoiler warning: none of the cons made our list. They're all very strong. They're very solid. We do appreciate the cons in our colors, except for me. I'll get into that when I read him. Not that he's bad, he's just not for me. And that's a very, very important distinction. But so let's go ahead and Geek, why don't you talk about the other really broken con?
Oh, and we're skipping to that one. Okay, I thought we were gonna build up, but I'll go to that one right away.
No, I may as well start off strong.
That's fine. So the other broken one is Ishki Dragonclaw, the Teamer Con. She is 1 in Teamer, so that's green, blue, red for a 4/4 with Vigilance, with Trample, and Ward 1 because she has green in her, so why not have everything? And a piece of pie. Okay, but at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell this turn, you draw a card and put 2/1 counters on this Trampling Lady.
All I hear is a bridged Vegeta in my head. Everybody duck, because I'm about to turn left and I want to hit anyone with my dick. It's just why? Why? I judging from my reaction, we all can see how I feel. I personally feel she is the strongest of the 5 cons, just because that ceiling is so high. And the floor's so low.
It's pretty wild. This is for my own stream, I built 3 of them, 3 of the legendaries from the set. And this is now the second of the 3 that I built. This card is nutty. I'm glad that we're putting the emphasis on how strong this card is, because at first blush, it doesn't look as good as it is. It's way better than you think it is. Every time I play this deck, I am a problem. And I've played this deck a number of times so far. And this is the one that Flurry and Harmonize work really well for.
Oh yeah, because casting your second spell, setting it up in that way. Yeah.
Yep. And it's just, again, the sky's the limit here. Play what you want. Just have fun with it. Do it all before combat. There's some fun things that I noticed when playing this deck as well. That Teamer, I think, has some of the strongest cards overall this set.
Okay.
Yeah, it does feel like that.
So, if you're playing new Teamer, have fun. apologize to your friends at the end of the night. And maybe next time lose a couple,
As a treat.
as a treat. Just be nice to them. You have to salve the wounds after you cause them.
You chip in more for pizza than everyone else, things like that.
Yeah, like for all of it.
You just buy an extra pizza for yourself because you'll be alone. She's absolutely. We may do a video on the Commander deck versions. I actually will go ahead and say I think she's the strongest con in both regards. I think both her Commander deck version and her main set version, she is the strongest of the cycles. Not to say that the other ones are weak. Again, I want to emphasize that. None of these cards are bad. I actually think that each con has their place in any deck of the color combination they fit into. It's just Eshki and Felothar seem to be on entirely different playing fields, which is nuts. That they were just like, unhinged. Why not?
To emphasize your point, the bar is here and they're up here.
Exactly.
So like we're
Absolutely.
still way above the floor.
Yep.
So yeah.
I just think the two of them have got such high ceilings. And like the fact that she is vigilance, trample, ward, I was just like, I get it. You fight. Stop hurting me.
No.
Exactly. Right.
At least it's just Ward 1.
This is true. It could be way worse. It could be like ward, give your firstborn child. Like
That Ward 1 is enough though. I have had Eshki stick around for so long. You don't need Voge's Ward 6 or whatever. Ward 1 is enough.
Actually, Geek's correct that at least she does not have Sauron's ward. Of No, lose your commander too. It's a wrestling match.
Or
You just got
Valgavoth.
suplexed.
Goggle, yeah.
I'll go out, yeah.
Oh god.
Some of those ward costs are. Like,
Oh, I'm so glad we're not doing hexproof
like
anymore.
9 life,
Yeah. Thank you for spelling hexproof weird.
Yeah.
Wizards.
Wow, hexproof can only be spelled with 4 letters. That's dope. Rye, why don't we go ahead and talk about your con again, you filthy Jeskai player.
Hey.
What happened?
So yeah, pretty much. No, surprise. I took the Jeskai cards for this. But the con is in question is Narset, Jeskai Waymaster. Honestly, this is, I will say, like, before I read it, like, this is probably one of her weaker cards out of the iterations of Narset. But simply, just Jeskai is her casting cost, so blue, white, red. Legendary creature, human monk, and at the beginning of your end step, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw cards equal to the number of spells you've cast this turn. She's not bad, honestly, because she's definitely one of the weaker of the cons out of this set. Like, because her ability is really like, while it is not like other cards where you are forced to discard your hand, it is a May ability. If you're not casting a lot of spells, you're never going to utilize that. Like,
I'm dramatic separateness ASAP.
Yeah, like she's like, it fits her, like how like going off her previous iterations, like it fits how she like how her cards like work and everything. But yeah, this one, I'm like, I saw this, I'm like, that's not gonna be. She's not making it to a Jeskai deck, or not, at least not as a commander.
So I have a strong opinion about this this Narset for one reason and one reason only. She may be the weakest of the Narset cards we've seen. I also think she's the most interesting of her cards that she's ever been.
I agree with that.
Because I was so sick and tired of seeing Enlightened Exile, the one who punches me repeatedly in the testes and then casts 18 spells. No, this one's fine, especially, and I also, again, speaking for Shannon, who's been playing a lot more standard lately, the fact that she actually really works well with things like Flurry and Plot, where Narset is just going to have one really explosive turn where you've got like 2 or 3 cards plotted or foretold or in exile that they're discounting or that you've harmonized that are in her colors. that you're discounting, casting them for much cheaper, and then going, well, I have no hand. I'll discard my hand and draw 6 cards. Whoop.
Oh, yeah, like
Oh,
that,
look at that. I found the way.
Right there, I agree with you. Like that, she can set herself up for a very explosive turn, but it is gonna take like it's a setup. Like it is.
She works.
It's a
As
process.
it could be. No extra
Ben-
turns here.
No, right. Benji, you were going to say something?
Yeah, so out of all of the, honestly, all of the cons and the dragons, I think Narset is by far the one that has to work the hardest to get there.
Agreed.
Eshki and Felithar both deal, like, they put up a massive amount of damage fast. Whereas Narset's just like, I'm just sorting through my stuff and I don't want some of it, so I'm gonna throw it away. And everybody else is like, we're at war, woman. Like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm playing with my toys and I don't like this one. Like, that's
I play the long game, you whippersnappers.
We need to keep studying. That's Narset.
yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Flavor-wise, it works.
Yeah, flavor-wise, she works. I also think that if I were to build an Narset, I would build this one, and I'd be doing things like, again, like I'd be doing like the harmonizes that are in her colors. I'd be doing she actually works really well with the other cons abilities, where like with harmonize and delve, she works really well. Hilariously enough, she's the one that's trying to bring all of the cons together. Like, are we done being children? Like, I am 1,000. I still look better than all of you. Can we just talk?
And look, you could even throw Renew into the Narset deck.
Yeah, she works so well. Now, unfortunately, that's not casting. However, it's still something that she can benefit from. And also, she's a 3/4 for 3 mana. Like, that's a good body just in general.
Oh yeah.
Like, value-wise. Yeah, again, I will agree. Weakest of the Narset cards, totally not an issue.
No. I may take the gamble, but this would be Jeskai deck number 11. Holding off for a minute.
She probably
Do it.
fits in a couple of your Jeskai decks.
Do it anyway. You got a brand.
This
And
is
I'm
true.
going to say do it for one reason, and this is a philosophy I'm learning, which is if it's been printed since 2020 as a legendary creature, it's worth building.
I actually didn't. Yeah.
See, I would agree with you, but one of my most famous commanders that I play is from Kamigawa, and not the new one.
I don't know what he's talking
I'm
about.
not saying that there's nothing like before it that's not.
No, I know,
that,
I know.
You know, but like even if it's an uncommon or a common SCOA, it's worth building. Give it a shot. See what you think.
Hey, you never know.
Alrighty, are we good to move on to the next con? Because it will be me this time, and we're going to talk about Kotis, the Fang Keeper. 1 black, green, blue for a 2/1 legendary creature zombie warrior with indestructible. Q disturbed. Whenever Kotis deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. Benji, I will let you go first before I share off my thoughts, because you seem very excited for this. I'm assuming this is the 3rd one you built. Okay.
So I asked a friend to pick a commander for me because I didn't. After Felithar, I was like, nah. And they were like, Kotis, and I was like, sure. And I looked at the card for a few minutes, and I really honed in on that indestructible. And I finally found my mutate deck.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Geeks vomiting. Geeks got very strong opinions.
You will get hated out of the game.
But good luck. It's indestructible.
The deck, I played it 3 or 4 times. It either does nothing or it does everything. It does my stuff. It does your stuff. It does stuff from people who are playing nearby who are not in your game. You take their cards too.
Hey, you! Get over here.
yeah, give me the top card of your deck. And they're like, what? Who are you? And you go, it doesn't matter. Anyways, this card is really nuts when you start to work in unblockable. And if you can make that happen, you're gonna do really, really heinous things.
The exiled cards you don't cast don't go, like, the lands go away. Everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is the one thing.
A lot of those effects give it back, but no, not this time.
No. Mm-mm.
This is just like second.
You thought
Akali.
Sultai was nice just because they said Sultai was nice now? No.
No.
Ryan, do you have an opinion? Because I'm gonna go off on this card. I'm sorry, Geek,
No,
were you
I'm
finished?
Have at it, mate. Sultai is not my specialty. I'm the Jeskai player.
Ah! So that was a bad idea because now I'm off my carpet. Oh no, it ejected me in a different way. I'm leaving that in. So, oh god, as a man who's been playing Sidisi for roughly since he got back into Magic in 2018, Rye, maybe a year after that.
Yeah,
I've been playing Sidisi a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So, to see how much caring about the graveyard there was in original Sultai, I was very excited to hear about Codis being taken in a new direction. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. Hopefully it's not One Direction. And then apparently they were like, and here's Liam Payne! As a member of One Direction, for anybody who's not got that joke. Cool.
All right.
I just feel like the other cons feel like they have a ton of flavor about them for their cards, and Codis feels completely out of left field. I understand the whole point of Sultai is they want to bring back the things only if they have the permission to bring them back. There's nothing about that for Codis. Like, Codis makes no sense flavor-wise, in my personal opinion. I'll add that addendum on the end, my personal opinion. And that's all. Whenever I speak about something like that, it's always to my personal opinion. Codis feels so drastically different from how they were explaining the Sultai. Now, the thing is, he works really, really well with the renew mechanic. He works so well with it because he's around and he's going to stick around for quite some time for you to be able to build the renew up on him. Because you have things like Codis' Agent of Codis that'll put 2+1/+1 counters on him. Now he's a 4/3, so now he's a more substantial attacker and blocker, and will take more cards off from your opponent. There's one that like puts a +1/+1 lifelink, death touch, and flying counter on him. So like now you can give him even more keywords, and it becomes even more of a problem to deal with. It's just when I look at him. And I think about how they explain the new Sultai, where they're bringing things back the way that we knew them. Codis just feels so out of left field to me.
May I attempt to provide some context?
Geek was going to speak first. I'm going to let Geek go first, and then you may go. But of course, I understand. I do know about his backstory, about him being from a village that he defended against Silumgar's people. And that's kind of why he was brought back, because they were like, you stood against Silumgar, like you are the leader.
Mechanically, he feels more like a commander product card. Like the Gonti deck that we got in OTJ.
Yes. I think that's maybe why he feels so out of left field.
That's what threw me for it. Because now you're touching other people's cards way more than you normally do, and it feels weird for a standard legal card. So I get you on that. But yeah, flavor wise as well, it seems weird for the Sultai. But Benji had thoughts.
I have context for this. I do not believe when you're looking at Codis that it is appropriate to judge him as the con without another legendary card in the picture, which is the Sib-Sig ceremony. The Sib-Sig ceremony says whenever you cast a creature, or whenever a creature enters, if you cast it, destroy that creature, you make a zombie. He is
Creature spells cost 2 less.
indestructible.
Yeah, so you get a free zombie out of him just showing up.
But he can't be destroyed by it. That's because that ceremony is what created him as a zombie. So it can't destroy him. He already survived it. But then when you look at how Renew works and how you need the stuff to be in the graveyard and you want bodies, the Sib-Sig ceremony is sort of taking the place of the con.
Oh, when it enters, if you cast it, so you're casting your opponent's creatures for free, blowing it up, and then making a zombie in return.
Well, I'm more thinking about like your Carsey Revenant, which is the one you mentioned that has the lifelink industry or lifelink
Thank you.
death touch flying. You cast that. It gets destroyed, goes to your graveyard. You get a zombie. With the Sib-Sig ceremony out. You can then renew, put those counters right on Codas. So if you want to see his power as a con, you kind of need the enchantment in the conversation to explain the whole picture.
And that's fair. I can, thinking about him in conjunction with what Sultai does now, I can see it. I will say sticker value, like just as face looking at him, it's the. So you made a wrong turn at an Omen Path, didn't you?
Yeah, you absolutely need. It's unfortunate that you need additional context here, but I think it makes it more interesting for him when you consider him with the enchantment. Not to say that, again, I agree, it sounds a lot like a commander product.
Yeah. Yeah, it funny enough, his commander card feels even, to me personally, even weirder. But that one actually fits more. That one at least feels flavorful to me. Because of like the idea of when a Sib-Sig gets brought back, they will take parts from the ones who don't want to come back to make sure that they're all put together. And I'm like, renew, reuse, recycle. So Sultai are the trashmen of Tarkir. I get it. I'm game.
Really curious now if they swap them.
If maybe the one that was in the commander product was supposed to be the main set, and they very much could have been.
Because they did just print Gonti.
That is also very true. Yeah, I will say the only reason I bring up the whole swapping of limbs thing is because Sidisi actually does it in a side story. She gives a Sib-Sig a golden arm and lets him go back, and he sees how like the Sultai are now treating zombies, and he's like, oh my god, like we're actually better now that we're another Silumgar. Not before he gets put into a pool, and that golden arm releases a bunch of poison, killing all the freshly made Sib-Sigs. And Sidisi like shows up and just goes, so I heard you were running my Sultai, motherfuckers. What's up? And then she has a 2-mana card that is... Geek, you were going to read the other one!
I am going to read the other one. I get the Mardu one. It is Zurgo, Thunder's Decree. He is freshly off his alliance with Ojutai. He costs Mardu, which is red, white, and black. He is a 2/4 legendary creature orc warrior. He has mobilized 2. So whenever he attacks, you make 2 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature token. The artwork on those, really good, by the way. You have to sacrifice them at the beginning of the end step, like Benji said, and then during your end step, warrior tokens you control have, this token can't be sacrificed. So they get to stick around over and over. More warriors for the army.
They don't Zurgo away.
And that's our show!
Yes, they don't Zurgo away.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to, as soon as I saw him, I got really sad that I built Altair as a Mardu deck, because I'm thinking about all the tokens that sacrifice at the end step and going, so how do I make them warriors? So they just don't sack.
Maskwood Nexus.
Yeah, match.
There's also spells that do it. There's a spell that'll turn them into any
You could
creature
have
type.
2 Mardu token decks.
Nope.
I'm good. I got Markov right now. I'm good.
He's talking about Altair for me, because
No,
it's the how do I do tokens
Oh, no,
bad?
I like Zergo. I really do.
No,
Like,
yeah. He reminds me of one of the masters from Doctor Who, where you can't get rid of the tokens, you keep them all.
Yeah, I think this, he is for me the middle of the road. I think he's the perfect in between of all the cons. He's not super strong. He's also not super weak. He does a lot while also not doing a ton. It's so strange.
I got my ass handed to me by this Zergo.
Really?
Yeah.
Like specifically this one?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It is wild what you can get up to with this card, but we kind of had our ass handed to us because Elspeth is just a obnoxiously strong card.
Oh, that's in
and
his
Elspeth works
colors.
Specifically really well with Mobilize, especially when you consider one of the sieges in the mix.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Baby Ishin's Siege that doubles attack
Yeah.
triggers.
Yep.
I was gonna throw that in my old Velomachus deck.
It's just busted. You can make a goblin.
Or you can make 4.
This is true. This is true. God.
Yeah, no.
Or with Elspeth 8.
Zergo's incredibly strong with the right support. I think the not sacrificing the warriors is the brewer's sweet spot, where you're like, how can I have fun with this? But if you're a power brewer, then that first line, the Mobilize, is what's going to appeal to you the most, I think.
That means I'm a brewer, because the first thought I was, what tokens sacrifice and how do I keep them? And I immediately was just like,
run because I don't get to keep the token.
and I'm like, ooh, Lightning Rager, and ooh, Urabrask's Forge.
Unfortunately, he only does that for warrior tokens unless you have maxed with Nexus.
Love finds a way, so will I.
And it depends on when the token is sacrificed, because is it the warriors just have it, or they don't sacrifice in your end step? How does
They
the
just
card read
say
again?
this token can't be sacrificed.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, great.
So, actually, for brewers though, that kind of messes up. Most people really like to be able to sacrifice their tokens anytime they want.
Is this where you play like Blasphemous
just can't.
Edict?
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Okay.
Blasphemous Edict cannot force you to sacrifice those.
Oh, no. So mean.
Ow!
That is evil.
My pride.
Or Mythos of Snapdax, where if you pay the full Mardu cost, you get to choose what everybody sacrifices, and you keep up Zergo, and you have to sacrifice everything else, and you're like, except no,
Yeah, that's like oh, that's
I'm
evil.
just a cheaty face.
I'm gonna go.
Reveal cheaty face.
I'm gonna go sit and cry in a corner. Yeah, so that was the cons. Yeah, I do think when we're looking at them at their face values, I do like the idea that none of these are. I think the big important thing to note for all the cons, I think is really, really nice, is that they need their clan behind them. None of them actually work on their own. So I think these are beautiful designs because of that reason. These all need what the clans do in Tarkir to really make them push forward and be beneficial. Maybe not Eshki. Eshki can. Anyway,
Ashkey can, yeah.
Harmonized really good.
yeah.
Oh, very good.
My number 5 card's a harmonized card. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about the next cycle. That means we're gonna talk about dragons. We're gonna be talking about the spirit dragons here. One we're not going to get too involved in, and it's the one I have to read, and that's because it's on somebody's list. So we'll get more in depth to it later. But Benji, go ahead. What dragon do you have?
Yes, I'm gonna start this by saying, please, when we get to that dragon, just tell me to shut up. The one that I have is Nariv, Heart of the Storm, or I don't know how to say it correctly.
Narev or Nariv. It's one of the two.
Heart of the Storms, yeah. So Mardu and one, so one red, white, black for a 4/5 flying spirit dragon. If a creature you control that entered this turn would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. Notably does not say combat damage.
It does not say the word combat. Love that. I have a I in standard I built a red white burn deck, and one of my favorite cards in there is Viashino Pyro Mage, I believe it is. It's 2 mana, enters, deals 2 damage to something, and I'm like, oh, Nariv says 2 mana, dome somebody for 4. Love
I
that.
had this commander played against me last night. They had Ishin out, they had Terror of the Peaks, and they had Calamity Galloping Inferno.
Oh no, no.
I'm gonna start digging my own grave. Are you cool with that? No, cool.
I look like I'm like, oh, we're dead. Oh,
Yep.
we're just dead.
Just goes, you're gonna need a piece of equipment. What? Throws you a shovel.
The thing that we didn't realize is that Ishin doubles all of Calamity's trigger, including the repeat this process once text.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Same thing for the siege in Mardu, the wind crab.
that is disgusting.
Oh, it'll repeat the whole thing.
You get 4 of whatever saddled it. Which would be in this instance 4 Terror of the Peaks, which just entered this turn, which see each other.
Oh,
Oh no.
I want to live that
it makes
But
me
here's the
uncomfortable.
thing. We died without Nariv on the table. So imagine all that damage and then amplified.
Yeah, oh my
I had to walk
lord.
away.
The build that you can, the like optimized build that you do with this card is, it's just kill this player. As soon as they sit down, you have to acknowledge the threat.
Yeah.
And be like, I almost can't trust you to defend your own deck. I just have to kill you. There's one other dragon that I would say you probably have to target more, and I'm thinking that that's the one I can't talk about. So yeah.
I just like spoiler warning. It's Taval. We're not going to be able to talk about Taval too much. That is on somebody's list. We will get there when we get there.
We don't talk about.
Narif's fun. I think it's a very interesting ability. It's a very complex build, and I love that. That tickles the brewer part of my brain very nicely.
Very Mardu, very fast. So Benji's correct. You sit down with Nariv, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah,
If I can.
I understand.
If I can go fast enough.
Because the whole point is what they can do in one turn.
Yep.
If you let them do that one turn, game's over.
Yeah, you're losing that game.
I go from 0 to 60 and 70.
Oh god, I didn't.
Narif's really now thinking about it more. I'm like, oh no, no.
Yeah.
Geek,
Oh, this is getting.
Geek, why don't you go ahead and read your dragon?
Oh, got it.
I got the
Preference
Abzan
and
Spirit Dragon,
preference.
Baitor, kin to all. 2 in Abzans, white, black, and green for a 5/7 Spirit Dragon. Of course, it flies. These are the cool dragons. This one has a lot of text. I like it. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. If creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life rounded up. It's Mael's Aria, but Abzan.
I've never been kicked so firmly square in the testicles after reading a line of card text and just going,
I literally just picked them up.
okay, cool, sure, why not?
Yeah.
It's kind of fascinating because all the cons ostensibly are supposed to work really well with their dragons. And there's a fringe case that I'm not allowed to talk about, but for Felithar and Baator, so good together.
Oh yeah.
Just so good together.
I say, if I don't have the 40 toughness, I'll get us there.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
time, Nariv.
I saw this. I already knew it was a strong card. I already knew it was a strong card, but watching it on the Game Nights episode when LED, I believe she's going by a new name, but Alias V. I don't know what the new name is. I was like looking at it on the screen going, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to read that.
I can find out for you real quick.
But I watched that effect go off and I was just like, that is really not difficult to get done. Like, at all.
And what's wild about the card is that, like, you kind of can evaluate it sort of like a planeswalker in a sense, because you have like the base ability and then the minus and then the ult. And you're generally okay. Like, if you only have 20 toughness on the board, you're good. You're gravy. You've got your card draw, you've got an untapped board. Like, I mean, if you also happen to, like, I don't know, dome everybody for half their life, cool. But just getting those first two feels really, really good.
I'm Mid of the Dead.
I'm not Italian, but I did one of these for a second.
Geek, you were saying something?
No, I'm agreeing with Benji. It's just nice.
Rye, let's go ahead and talk about your dragon. I wonder what dragon you have.
Oh, shocking to no one. I have the Jeskai Dragon, Shiko, Paragon of the Way. 2 in Jeskai, so blue, red, and white. For a legendary creature spirit dragon with flying and vigilance, power toughness 4/5. When Shiko enters, exile target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and copy it. Then you may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token.
Rereading that. Sorry, go ahead.
I like Shiko. Shiko does I'm the opposite of the Sultai way of graveyard shenanigans, whereas I like flashback. And the main reason behind that is actually because the very first Commander deck that got me into Commander was back in Commander 19 with Savin. Savin and / Elsha, because Savin, I played Savin for a bit in the Commander tournament I was in, and then I switched to Elsha, and then Elsha, unfortunately, Elsha has been deconstructed now, but new Elsha, that's on the building list.
Shiko does not say the words non-creature, which is very fun.
Oh yeah, I like this because it's the versatility it has, like, especially like with all of like the low cost mana, like for example, like the Jeskai monument, you can get that. It helps you. You can ramp you a little bit. You have others, like obviously there are other, like if any of your mana rocks get destroyed or anything, you can bring them back. Creatures, enchantments.
Say you sacked a commander sphere to draw a card, just get another one.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the eyebrow raise out of Geek because I mentioned commander sphere.
I like that card.
It's a fun card. Geek has changed my opinion on it quite a bit.
Oh, I just cut it from a deck. I literally just did. I wish I was kidding.
But it is
the record stop sound happens.
I will say, while the other dragons definitely do work with their counterparts, because like Mobilize is amazing for Narev. The idea of Felithar's +1/+1 counters ability, or Endure, which can add up to more counters on things and or additional creatures, definitely Baator and Felithar help each other. Narset only cares that you're casting spells. She doesn't care what spells you're casting. So this exiled and then cast the copy will still count for the number of spells you cast for Narset.
Yep.
So this idea that Shiko helps Narset get to where she's good is a lot of fun. And I really love the way that the dragons combo with each other and with their Khan or their leader. Now let's break that cycle immediately. And let's talk about the dragon we're not allowed to talk about. My dragon, Taval, Arbiter of Virtue. 2 black, green, blue for a 6/6 legendary creature spirit dragon with flying and lifelink. Spells you cast have delve. When you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. I'm aware that there is balance in all things. We're going to save our comments. We're going to save our comments. We're going to press it down. Because the comment I made about how all the dragons work with their cons immediately went out the window. Going with the...
Sorry.
We'll get into it when we get into it, because if you don't agree with me, I'd be interested to hear your statement. But like...
All right.
Anyway, sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
That's Ryan.
Oh yeah, Ryan gets the last dragon.
Oh, yes. Arguably one of the most powerful dragons from the base set. The last dragon is Ureni, the Song Unending. 5 and Teamer, so green, blue, and red, for a 10/10 legendary creature spirit dragon that has flying and protection from white and black. When Ureni enters, it deals the X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers your opponent control, where X is the number of lands you control. That is absurd. In Teamer.
You say she's one of the strongest dragons, and he goes toe to toe with the Ur Dragon and wins.
Yeah.
She beats the Ur Dragon purely because she has protection from white and black.
Yep.
She has protection from chocolate and vanilla.
And she's in Miram
Yes, which is terrifying.
I say more appropriately, she's in Animar colors.
That's absolutely true.
Oh
She is
my
also
lord. My
very
lord.
Animar.
Same protection colors,
Mhm.
and you could cast her for 3 mana. Pretty disgusting.
She's in a Luna. She's in a Luna Apex of Wishes powers.
The thing that because Ureni doesn't really work with Eshki either,
That's-
except Ureni will clear the way for Eshki.
Oh, absolutely.
That is true. That is very true.
Absolutely.
But overall, their mechanics, like what the cards do,
Yeah, they conflict.
It's not
you're
conflict.
not paying 8 mana for that creature and then casting a non-creature that same turn.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll totally
good luck.
cast Brainstorm after that.
I'm sure.
Rennie could then help harmonize something though.
There is quite a
If
few
you
Teamer
tap-
cards that reduce costs. So, I mean,
Oh yeah,
like you get Battle Crier out.
if that's on the list, then if that's not on the list, then it should be. But yeah, if you're tapping Ureni for a harmonized cost, things have gone very poorly for you.
Oh, yeah.
Or you're about to win. And you're like, I need to discount a spell sup. 10/10 dragon.
I mean, I guess yeah, you could do like the tutor for 10, but like
You could have
I think
also
if you've got a 10/10 in the air, you
Yeah.
just throw that.
Agreed.
It's true. Fling.
Or yeah, I just meant like turn it sideways and then hit him in the face with it.
I saw her and I was like, oh, cool. There's 2 of them. Got it.
I pretend I do not see Miram.
Mirror, dragons are one of my favorite creature types in all Magic. Like, my Ur Dragon is my pet deck. Like, it is my pride and joy. I will not put Miram in that deck because I still want to be able to play my goddamn commander when I have fun.
At least she's not the commander if she's in that deck. It's fine.
Miram
I can blame you.
just draws a lot of ire, and I just don't want that.
Ire that won't be directed at your Ur-Dragon.
We're not talking about Miram here, but I will say Miram is almost ruined dragons for me.
I can understand it.
I can understand. It's kind of why I avoid Miram. Like I saw him, like, oh, that'd be fun. Like, no, won't be fun. No.
I had a Miram deck for a summer.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I just let my hair down. Sometimes I just run a Miram deck.
I played against a Miram deck at Commander Shield, and
sometimes I put my left leg out of from underneath the covers while I sleep. You know, tomato.
Well, my last Miram game, I ulted Teamer Sarkhan.
Oh my word, no.
No one lived to go to combat.
Yeah.
Benji was talking about the Terror of the Peaks with the Narev deck. No, it was Terror of the Peaks plus Scourge of Valkus. Double. Is disgusting.
My tummy hurts.
After that game, I was like, I have literally done everything this deck can do. I have no reason to play this anymore.
Geek just full-on football chucks it down towards a trash can. Got away from me!
Yep.
Yeah, Miram, unfortunately, like, just circle back now real quick. Like, Miram is just, like, for me as a person, like, even though I am a dragon, like, I'm dragon fanatic. I cannot do it, like, play Miram. Like, I just cannot find it in me to do it.
Sometimes a card is just too good.
Yeah.
And you don't want to run it.
And that's exactly what it is. Like, Miram, I love the art on it. I like what it can do, but I'm just like, it's just too overpowered
The showcase
for
art
the games
is
I play
good.
in. Oh yeah, showcase art is one of the best I've seen.
I like how we're talking about Irene, but we talk about Miram.
Well, I'm gonna put it in context real quick because it was really, really hard for me to evaluate Irene without Miram in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to the kind of power that Miram has and how strong this card is, that you're looking at that in the conversation. And it is so strong on its own because you need a lot of lands to get to that much mana. So you're at least doing 8, right? Provided you're not discounting a runny. So yeah, incredibly strong card. I've yet to see it do anything out in the wild. It's one of the few cards that I haven't really seen yet.
That's like
Probably because anybody's just putting her in Miram.
Probably.
I am. Yeah, like I'm looking at this and like we're going to be doing a Commander Sealed video going over some of the commanders, and one of the ideas we thought about doing was talking about the random packs you could get, and Tarkir Dragonstorm is one of them. And so like I don't fully know how to evaluate Irene as a commander. I think legitimately she's just too expensive. I think that you will have lost the game by the time you're ready to actually cast her. In actual commander, I think it depends on the kind of decks you're up against. Are you up against a Narset deck that doesn't have a ton of creatures and doing mostly spellcasting? Probably not going to target you. Is there an aggro mobilized player? They're probably not your friend.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you can come in and wipe my board just by going, dragon? Yeah, I'm not a fan of you.
Yeah, and I agreed.
I know that somebody has a dragon on their list, but removing that one from the conversation, we didn't do this for the other cycle so far, but which dragon do you like the most? Except for the one we can't talk about.
You can mention that if that one's your favorite. I will say right now, for me, it's Shiko. I love the idea of going, because I would be the person to waste my time to go, I'm going to exile this Ephemerate, cast Ephemerate, flicker Shiko. All right, now I'm going to grab the card I actually want, just because I want to say I did it.
Look, that's how you build a deck around Narset, is a blink deck with Shiko, because you just keep blinking Shiko and getting those blink spells out of your graveyard.
Yep.
And at end of turn, look at all these spells you've cast for practically nothing. And then you do it all over again next turn. There's not many
Mhm.
blink spells, but you know what I mean.
No, but yeah, that is a way to honestly. That is probably the best way to run Narset is like blink or like flicker, like stuff you can get where you can get the cast from exile and everything. Even like because like I guess even Cascade can kind of factor into it too because you're playing it from exile. It does and it does say cast,
Mhm.
so it's like there's definitely like neat Shiko and Narset like both of them like yeah like in the like obviously either one being a commander is the deck will run. Like you can honestly rotate whichever one out just to keep it fresh for you as well. Like they do complement each other very well. Favorite for me, it actually has to be Baitor. Baitor is my favorite.
Same.
Yep.
The reason Baitor is my
I'm the only one who likes someone different.
The reason Baitor is one of my favorites, I just get flashback to Miles Aria, which is an enchantment that's a similar thing to like it cares about like 10, 20, and 40 toughness and everything, but it's a alternate win condition in my Atog deck.
Talk. But I guess we'll just Benji favorite con.
Oh God.
Mm.
Not fair. I have more fun with Eshki.
Okay, geek.
Belfar.
Ryan.
I'm actually torn between Zergo and Felithar. Like
Be
they're
different. Say Zergo.
Zergo is like definitely like as a Mardu commander I would like to play because it's just
Oh, yeah.
aggressive. Yeah, I think Zergo is my favorite.
It would for me. It's either Zergo or Narset.
It has to be Narset to be different.
All right, fine.
Also,
It's Narset.
to take Ryan's place as Jeskai.
Well, yes, I'm a Jeskai player. I still do acknowledge.
I'm gonna
there are
do
some
all the
commanders that I have.
plotting.
There are still some commanders like even other color combos that just get my attention. I'm like, okay, I might want to build you.
Yeah.
Something there. Yep.
Do I have a Jeskai deck? Oh no, I'm working on it. It's Captain America.
Yeah, you have the Captain America one. I relinquished that one, but I also don't care for equipment deck, so I didn't really care to build him.
We'll see what happens with me. I've got a fun build for that. I might actually like bring on Benji and Geek because they're two big brewers and talk about it. Because, oh boy, is reconfigure a thing.
Yeah.
And for Mirrodin,
Enjoy that deck. I do hope you enjoy that deck at least.
we're gonna go ahead and talk about the rare land cycle so that we can continue moving on because we still haven't talked about our 5 favorite cards yet. So we're gonna kind of try to keep this one. Yeah, we're gonna try to keep this one short.
There is
So
one land on someone's list in this one.
Is there?
Yep.
oh yeah.
So we won't talk about it in this section. We'll talk about it next time.
Oh
Next
wait.
time.
Oh, who's got the land?
Me.
It's you.
Yeah, I'm supposed to read this one, so it works.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. So we will go ahead and go with Benji.
That's me. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read. Great Arashan City. This land enters tapped unless you control a forest or a plains. So this is the Abzan of the cycle. It'll tap for black or for 1 and a black. Tap, exile a creature card from your graveyard. That's all the cost. Create a 1/1 white spirit creature token.
Completely fine. I think it's solid.
It does a thing.
And at
does a
instant
thing.
speed.
It's utility. It's
Yeah.
to help you.
If you need a blocker, great. If you don't have anything to do with the mana and you've got a creature that you don't care about in your graveyard, great. Gives you a body.
This actually works really well with Taval, the Balance Scale, the commander deck version, because once something leaves the graveyard, Taval will trigger and give you a 2/2.
Is it a pink 2/2?
It's a black 2/2.
Okay. Thank you.
Geek.
So mine is on my list. It's the Quarry Mountain Monastery.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Right.
But
Brian.
one I got or picked, it was the Mistrise Village. So this is the blue version. This is the Teamer one. Land, enter, tap unless you can control a mountain or forest. Tap out a blue or pay a blue. Tap it. The next spell you cast this turn can't be countered.
Makes me want to swallow a sword.
So I recently watched the Command Zone do their breakdown of the 99. And they acknowledged the hype around this card, and they don't like it. They don't like the card. They don't think it lives up to the hype. And so I wanted to then turn around and sort of ask you all, what are you using this card on? Like, what is it that you're saving up that 2 mana to protect?
I think if it's me, I'm probably saving it on that game-winning piece. It's gotta be. It's the card that, like, the literal, if this resolves, I win, and no one can do anything about it. 2 extra mana to make sure to almost guarantee it goes off. Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I
God.
I do understand where, because actually there was a conversation I had at my LGS where somebody brought up that they thought that this card was way overhyped. And not that it's bad in any way, shape, or form, because again, the ability to not have your spells countered, first off, there is ways around it. There are plenty of cards that bounce a spell back to hand, exile spells off the stack, or even the big one is like delay. Delay as a spell just puts it off to the side with suspend counters on it so you could find an answer to it. It is not a bad card. It's a very solid card. I can understand why people think it's overhyped, but legitimately, you're putting this in your deck because there's 1 to 2 to maybe 3 spells that absolutely have to resolve for you to win the game. And that's what these things are. It's an insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like, I 100% agree with that. Like, definitely, if you're gonna, like, one of the situations you're gonna utilize that ability is, like you said, a game winner. Other argument I could say for it is, like, if you are behind and you finally draw a card that can get you back into the game, and you want to guarantee get you back in the game, like it helps you catch up and everything. That'd be another situation I think I'd use that ability in that regard, because there have been times like where I have been out of games so bad, and like I finally draw the one card that will get me back, it would catch me back up and get me back on even footing with everyone, and then someone goes, "Oh, counter." I'm like, well, I'm SOL.
So what's the difference between running this and running a counter spell?
Well, I think First Geek's got to answer.
I mean, I only have one deck where I would run this in, and that's Niv Mizzet Visionary, because either somebody's trying to... Hey,
Speaking
I was
about
given
dragons.
that card as my Secret Santa this year. I had to build it. I was gonna anyway. That's the 2nd year in a row they've given me a card that I'm gonna build anyway. So cool. I mean, they're like, here, have something nice, and I'm like, you all want to die. Cool.
So you have chosen death.
Well, last year they gave me Vazi, saying, "Oh, you'll be group hug." Oh,
Group hug you to death.
you even know me. But anyway, it'd go to Niv because either someone's going to try to counter Niv, or my game winner. So It has good applications for that, and that's I don't have a lot of blue decks anymore, so I think I'll have this one. I'll have Essex, my clone deck.
But
And I don't really care about Essex getting
Benji
messed around. Nobody messes
does
with him.
bring up an excellent point in the sense of why not just run a counterspell over this. And I think the big argument to that is this is repeatable and harder to interact with.
Oh, for sure.
I also just don't like running counterspells. I'm not a big fan.
This is essentially a front-loaded counterspell.
This is true.
It also doesn't take a spell slot. I
This
just
is
replace
true.
an island with it. So there's more fun things I can put in. I found mostly I like redirection a lot more than counters. Like you do the big cool thing. No, it goes that way. Or no, I'll take that.
Right. I can agree with that.
Or like the bounce, like you were saying, the bounce spell. Like Unsubstantiate's one of my favorite blue cards.
Unsubstantiate, Synced in the Stupor, Commit to Memory, Narset's
Like, oh,
Reversal.
Big
Yep.
uncounterable spell. I'm like, cool. Put it back in your hand for a little while.
Yeah.
We'll deal with you later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can understand where like game nights is coming from. Like, agree. Like, it's like this card is like, yeah, I can agree. People are kind of overhyping this,
Very
and that's coming
overhyped.
from me
It's
being a
good
blue
card.
player.
Especially for it to be in its best condition, you need to be running one of the other two land types for this to be its most effective to come into play untapped, to be able to do to do its thing the turn it comes in. Now, granted, there are ways to circumvent the basic land types. I'm fully aware of this. But you see what I mean.
Yeah, I think the weird way that this land works, just it makes it really hard to figure out where to include it, because if you're only protecting one or two cards with it, you may never see this as a way to protect
Right.
them. So like you're kind of running it as like a, excuse my French, an oh shit button, depending on your meta. And I don't think it's as ubiquitous as people are saying it will be. I think it's definitely a play style thing. Like Geek, you said you don't like to counter stuff. You would run this in that deck just to make sure your thing goes through, because you don't want to have a wizard where you want to kill everybody right now. And I do kind of agree that I think it's probably being overhyped, but I'm still excited to see people use it.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
100%.
The opportunity cost is very low. You just replace an island, and more than likely it's just there. Kind of like with the Aerishan one. It's just there.
Mhm.
It's good. If you need it, cool. If you don't, cool. If you build for it, awesome. In Simic, you'll be able to get it anytime you want, because
All of your lands are already on the battlefield.
exactly.
We've talked about Simic, and now since talking about Simic, they have played all of their lands.
Yep. Oh, look, you sneezed. And there's all your lands.
Yep.
That's a weird thing to come out of your nose, bro, but have fun.
Oh, the green and blue is snot. I get it. Anyway,
Oh Jesus!
Right, go ahead and read your land.
He just did. It's your turn
just did.
now.
I lied. Will, go ahead and read your land. I got all the Sultai cards. I have Kishla Village. It is a land. This land enters tap unless you control an island or a swamp. Tap, add a green, 3 and a green, tap, surveil 2. So Geek just mouthed that he loves this land. I actually had a full-on conversation, and one of the things we talked about is the temples versus the surveil lands. And why are the surveil lands viewed in such a better light than the temples are? And so the main topic is the idea that they're fetchable. And I was like, ignoring that they're fetchable, like if they made a fetchable version of the temples, are they just as good? And people have actually brought up that no, surveil's actually better. And the more I think about it, the more I unfortunately have to agree.
You either leave it on top or you put it in your second hand.
Yeah.
Whereas Scry is, you either keep it on top or you put it away for maybe forever.
Yeah.
It's
Just surveil lands in anything that's going to play Harmonize.
Ooh, nice.
oh, and or renew.
Or Golgari,
Renew,
X
yep.
decks,
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
anything that wants things in the graveyard.
Flashback. Oh god.
Yep.
Yeah. So then, does anybody have Dalkovin Village encampment pulled up?
No one
Actually-
signed up.
I have it right
Oh.
here.
Benji, you read it.
I
Read
noticed
it.
there was nobody's name there, and I was like, "Let me."
I saw somebody. We have a Google Doc primer that we're reading from to help us move along, and I saw that somebody's hanging there, and I was like, I bet that's Benji, and I was correct.
Put him up on Scrapball.
So this is Dalkovan encampment. This is probably the weirdest one for me. Not for me personally, but like in my opinion of the 5, it is the weirdest. It enters tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain. It taps for white. You can also pay 2 and a white into it and tap it. And whenever you attack this turn, create 2 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. It is essentially mobilize, but they can't do it because mobilize is an attack trigger on an attacking body. I think this one's super weird because out of all of them, I think this is the only one that cares about when you use it.
Yeah, 100%.
But I will point out one thing that's really nifty with it is it will trigger every time you attack that turn. So if you're rocking extra combats, as long as you're attacking with one creature, you will continue to get this trigger. So I think that that's pretty neat. And I misspoke because the Mistrise Village obviously cares about when you use it. You have to use it before you cast the spell, so there's something there too. I just mean that this has to be used before you attack.
Cool card.
Yeah, so I definitely, like you said, like, the rocking the extra combats is great. Like you're like there are a lot of creatures that like can do extra combats. Bloodthirster from the 40k decks is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Port Razor.
Like,
Aurelia.
Aurelia.
It's, and I think for that reason, I think it's the highest activated cost.
I believe.
No, Kishla Village
Holy
is the
Mountains.
highest.
Oh, is that one?
Kish-
4.
So is
okay.
Kishla Village.
I'm just lying. It's full on lying. Just untruths.
It's
spilling
totally
out of my
fine.
mouth.
It's totally fine.
Speaking, it's fine.
So the last question
There's so
I
many
will.
cards in this game to remember.
This is
it's
true.
all good.
So the last question I'll pose is: how do we feel Wizards did with this legendary land cycle?
Not legendary.
I'm sorry, rare. I meant rare, not legendary.
That's okay.
I think they're cool. They have interesting, unique applications.
Yeah.
They have a possible just coming in untapped, which is cool. They're nice.
I brought up
I think-
during. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, you're good. You're good. Like they definitely, I think they definitely like because when you look at like obviously like the lands are for the clan in question, like they definitely still stay on the theme of the clans, like how it worked and everything in that regard. So like definitely hit the nail on the head. And like Geek said, like even if like they have the possibility of coming untapped, so if you're running them in like exactly like just so we have the encampment in front of me, like if you're running in a Rakdos and a Boros, Mardu, any of that, like you have the potential of it like being a land that doesn't come in tapped at rare is always good because it doesn't slow your game down like in that much.
I like lands that have extra abilities to them. The only reason I don't like them is that lands are arguably the strongest card type in all of Magic, in my personal opinion. Yeah, I think that sometimes I run land interaction in every single deck that I have. Because I'm not letting you have that for free. Screw you. Work for it.
Me too.
Uh,
Mysticate is one of my favorite things.
you got to get rid of that Maze of Ith or the Gaia's Cradle.
Not mine.
No, definitely
Ryan.
yours.
Not mine. No.
Can we get exile target non-basic land, please?
We talked
No.
about this. I want to build Sharky, which is really sad.
Hey, it was printed after 2020. It's buildable. I have a quick note about these lands to share. Is that I really like the direction they took in the condition on whether it enters tapped or not, without restricting it beyond the color it taps for. So meaning that you can run the Great Arashan City in mono black. You can run it in Dimir. You can run it in Mardu, even though it wants a forest or a plains in play for you to play it untapped. It is playable in any black color identity deck.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And that is so much more appealing on a land than if they had made it tap for 3 colors or one of 3 colors. The clan colors.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Do you think these lands are interesting? More interesting if we flipped the things. So dual color lands that come into play tapped if you have the color that the clan lost. So take Dalkovin Encampment. It's a red-black land that only comes into play untapped if you control plains. It's definitely very different. And I agree with what Geek said. No, I don't think that they're better or more interesting that way. But
I like the flexibility they have by being, like Benji said, you can run into anything.
Yep,
yeah.
I agree. I think the flexibility that this land cycle has is definitely probably one of the better ones we've seen in a bit.
Kishla Village is going in all my Golgari decks.
I will say, if they printed a cycle of rare lands that had the check for a different basic type, and that's all they did, if you added on land types onto those would be some hot lands.
So like the Dalkovin enchantment, going back to Dalkovin encampment, not enchantment. So red black land that is a swamp mountain that if you have a plains comes into play untapped.
Yep, and that's all it is.
That would be kind of fancy.
Yeah.
That's the I like a mild in my spicy.
I like that one. That'd be good.
Yeah, I think that would be a good way to.
Wizards, hit us up.
No, they've already got the full design now. You're welcome.
Oh, I know. No, I always brought this up. When designs are stolen from Jasper, it's funny. And when they're stolen from me, I hate it. Looking at you, Devil May Cry, the anime. You were so good. Please give me season 2 sooner than you've said.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, we're finally there. We're into our top 5. We've talked a lot about some of these cards. We're going to try to move through this kind of quick. So let's go ahead and we're not going to go too much into our honorable mentions. We're just going to kind of rattle those off, and then we'll move on to our top 5. So Benji, what is your honorable mention?
It is Herd Heirloom. The wrong H is silent. It's a mana rock. It costs 1 and 1 green. You can only use it for a mana of any color to cast creatures, or you can tap it to give a creature with power 4 or greater trample, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. I don't know why they thought green needed this mana rock. It's so good. It is so good. It's just ridiculously good.
Very good.
Yep. Geek.
Mine is Host of the Hereafter, 2 in Golgari for a zombie warlock 2/2. This creature enters with 2/1 counter, so it's a 4/4 for 4 mana. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies that had counters on it, put its counters on one other target creature. I chose this because it's Golgari. It's also one of the better arts that I've seen in this set, and I really, really like it. Really vibes, because I don't really care about the effect. I don't do 1/1 counters all that often, but vibes.
We dig vibes. Ryan.
Mine is Flamehold Grappler. Jeskai casting cost for 3/3 creature human monk with first strike, and when this creature enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn when you cast it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. This is just straight up like I love the art of it. I love its full art in that regards, and then like it's exactly what I want in Jeskai. It does everything. It does exactly the Jeskai thing, and it's pretty straightforward with me.
My honorable mention is I stuck to my guns. I told Ryan and Geek that I wasn't gonna pick a cycle on my list. I didn't. My honorable mention is the cycle. It's the monument cycle. So Sultai Monument, which is the one I prefer because I'm Sultai basic bitch. 2 mana artifact. When this artifact enters, search your library for a basic swamp, forest, or island card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand, then shuffle. And then it has 2 black, green, blue, tap, and sacrifice this artifact. Create 2/2/2 black zombie druid creature tokens. Activate only as a sorcery. They all follow that template. They come in, they fetch you a basic land of one of the 3 colors, and then for the activated ability of their colors, you sack it and you make a token relevant to the clan. The Teamer is an elephant, the Abzan is spirit, Sultai zombies, Jeskai's birds. Sure. And then did I say Teamer?
Yeah.
Mardu.
Elephants.
Mardu is warriors. I just think they're great. They don't go into your hand, but sometimes being able to make sure you have a land play for the next turn is the best thing you could have. It also fixes your colors. Because you can
mana. That's great.
and colorless mana at that. I think they're awesome. So now the ones that we're actually going to be able to talk about. Let's go ahead and Benji, number 5.
My number 5 is 5. Cheaty face. It's the Dragonstorm cycle. I look. This is actually the crux of why I built Eshki. I just love the functionality. So basically, all of the cycle says when this enchantment enters, you do a thing. When a dragon you control enters, you return it to your hand. So flavor-wise, it is a Dragonstorm. It poops out a dragon, and then you get the Dragonstorm back to poop out another dragon another time. Mechanically, the card does not do that, but the effects on these spells are really, really cool. And I'm going to highlight 2 of them because I do believe that they need a special call out. The first is Roiling Dragonstorm, which is 1 in a blue. When it enters, you draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. So 2 mana, draw 2, discard 1, and then you return it to your hand whenever a dragon enters. The other one is Breaching Dragonstorm, which if you have not seen the Dragon Wing frame version in foil, ask a friend to show you or something. It's Justine Jones, and it's not quite her best art, but it's close. This one says when it's 5, by the way, 4 and 1 red. When this enters, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast it without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 8 or less. If you don't, put that card into your hand.
Geek, that's got you written all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
There's one that I know
Yeah,
that
there is.
the green fetches lands, which is nuts. The white,
It fetches 2 to the battlefield.
yeah, which is like nutty, and I think it's what, 4 mana,
Yep.
and it's repeatable. Like that's
explosive vegetation. So
yeah, but think about repeatable in a dragon deck.
it's green. Of course it does. Fine.
The white one,
Someone has got to hold these green players accountable.
the white one deals damage, doesn't it?
The white one makes 2 2/2s, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is
And then
odd.
I don't know what the black one
it's
does.
the Abzan one. That's why it's soldiers.
And then the black one is when it enters, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life, and you surveil 2.
That's also very solid.
I like that one.
Yeah, the Dragonstorm cycle is just solid across
It's
the board.
really good. I think that the corroding Dragonstorm, which is the black one, is I don't like it as much. It's still really good though. It's still just really good. And having the white one give you tokens, which are in Elspeth's color, is just ridiculous. The whole cycle is super playable. It looks. These are one of those things where you just have to play them to figure out how they feel. They feel much better in a game than they read.
Yeah, and some decks are just playing dragons incidentally.
Yeah, so these took me in the direction for Eshki of trying to build a dragon deck. There is no Miram in my Eshki deck, by the way.
Good job.
No, I can respect that.
Good job.
They also don't care if it's a token dragon either.
That is also very true.
And that is true.
Vara Hellkite. There you go.
Dragon back assault, play a land, get a dragon, bounce all of them back.
Yep.
Loot dispute. Complete a dungeon, make a dragon.
I was about to say, what did you call me?
Yeah, right? Geek. Number 5.
Number 5 for me is Songcrafter Mage from the Teamer clan. Green, blue, red for a 3/2 human bard with flash. When this creature enters, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains harmonized until end of turn. Its harmonized cost is equal to its mana cost. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's clean, it's nice.
It's Snapcaster Mage, but do you want to make it even cheaper than it was before?
Yep.
Can I tell you the thing that I used that card for in a game?
Please do.
I would love to. I don't know why I'm looking for the card. I know what it is. It's Full Throttle.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
It was a double extra combat spell.
yeah, yeah.
Makes me
Eshki
feel
likes that a lot.
nice.
A lot.
Yeah.
Hey, did you enjoy my combat? You want to see me do it again?
You know,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, I think for our last time when we did it for Age of Drift, I think Full Throttle was my honorable mention.
Full Throttle was your honorable mention.
Full
I still
Throttle
have the
is so
script.
timing tricky that like I don't recommend everybody do it, or I recommend that people, if you're going to do it, be very mindful of which main phase you're casting it in and what you're looking to get out of these extra combats. If you're not closing it out, you could end up with weird timing things because you don't get any extra main phases.
The only thing about some extra combat spells that bug me are when they say after this main phase, because I love to play Velomachus if she casts stuff during combat. There's like 3 extra combat spells that even work with her.
Mm-hmm.
So like great train heist, that does. World at War. There, what was the other one? Oh, Savage Beating, because yeah. So yeah, I love Full Throttle though. Very good, very good. Great use for a Songcrafter mage.
I'm thinking of Blasphemous
The
Act.
artwork's really
Because
nice.
screw
I
you.
like him. He seems like a nice guy.
For 3 mana, Jesus, Mary.
For 3 mana,
Yeah, that is insane.
and it also it's good. Anyway,
I do like the color restriction on this though. This cannot just go in every single deck. Yeah, this isn't like Snapcaster, but still is an amazing ability.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty.
I'd put him in Ramos.
Oh yeah, sure. I put him in my party deck.
Put
He's a
in
bard.
Aragorn.
Yeah, bards are in D&D.
But not the party mechanic.
But look, it is a downfall, and we try not to talk about it. Rye, what is your number 5?
Mine is Karakik Guardian. 3 and Teamer for a.
What'd you say about my mama?
That has flying, vigilance, and trample, and then this creature has hexproof if it hasn't dealt damage yet. I love this card, but mainly because it is a callback to an older card from M19, Palladium Moor, who had the same effect where if it did not deal combat damage to a player yet, or no, sorry, it hadn't dealt damage yet, it had hexproof. I love callback cards, and the fact that he pulled it back on another dragon, that was literally the only reason I needed to have it as my number 5.
Can I say I have the complete opposite opinion of that callback? And I'm like, how dare you not only downshift an Elder Dragon, but also like it removes its legendary status. So now you're just a pleb and you're uncommon. Like,
I can understand.
get good, Palladium boys.
Let Pauper EDH have their commanders.
I mean, look, you could.
No, I get it.
I can't run Palladium Moor and Pauper, but now I can.
No,
You can run this thing.
Exactly. I guess that would be me. So a fun little fact about me, a couple of my favorite draw spells are Thirst of Discovery and Thirst for Knowledge. So of course, right up on there was going to be my number 5, Winter Night Stories. For 2 and a blue for a sorcery, you draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. It is harmonized for 4 and a blue. This is real fun. Love repeatable draw spells. Love draw spells with caveats. 3 mana, draw 3, discard a creature. Oh no, the horror. It's so versatile, it's so useful. I will most likely be ordering multiple copies of this card, as this will end up in a lot of my decks.
It's really good. It has felt good every time I've cast it, regardless if it was from hand or from graveyard. I run it in Eshki. Just a solid card. It will never feel bad.
Yeah, like you could. I honestly love the idea of this being just 4 mana. Draw 6 cards, discard 2 creatures. Because
or discard a bunch of cards with Harmonize.
Yeah, or a bunch of cards with Renew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just good job, Wizards. I wish it was instant, like Thirsts for Discovery and Thirst for Knowledge. But I can't be picky, so I take what I can get.
And I don't think Blue has any way to accommodate that either, right?
Nah.
This is what I used Mist Rise Village on. This is the card I used Mist Rise Village on. Let me resolve my stories. Alrighty. That's going to move us into number 4, Benji.
Why am I not surprised that out of everybody here, you're the one that's like, don't stop me from talking?
Listen here, you.
Look, it's fine. It's
Benji
fine.
will not be in the next episode.
I mean, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna be real that the next 4 are kind of interchangeable for me. I like them all. And I don't currently know, or basically what I'm saying is I just threw them into a spot. So number 4 is Revival of the Ancestors. It is so each clan had a saga. And I have a friend who says Sega, and I always
I thought you were going to say you always chokeslam them, because I would.
no, I'm always thinking of Sega.
Sega.
It's a regional dialect thing.
Okay.
Like they say bag instead of bag, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. In that case,
Yeah.
I'll
so,
only push them down the flight of stairs.
We're good.
Oh my god. Okay, so Revival of the Ancestors, it's 1 in Abzan, so white, black, and green. This saga, I'm gonna say it now before I read the text to give you context. This saga ends games. Now I'll go to the text. Chapter 1, create 3 1/1 white spirit creature tokens. Very innocuous, very unassuming. In most cases, this gives me something to sack with Felithar. Chapter 2, distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. This ability is way more insidious than it looks, especially if you're running things that care about counters being put on them. Kami of Whispered Hopes, Gyre Sage, things that make you more mana with more counters or more power, Basking Brood Scale, Evolution Witness, etc. This is just full-on support. Chapter 3 is, oh crap, we're all dead now. Creatures you control gain trample and lifelink until end of turn.
Yep.
Yeah, no. If you let it get to 3 and your opponent has a like you said, a board and everything, oh yeah, it's just game over.
Yeah, this is a back-breaking chapter. And it's brutal. If you get to untap with this, if you don't close it out, then you're somehow maybe not as good at Magic as you think. I'm talking about myself because I didn't win that game, but I got close. Look, I made an absurd amount of life. I did an absurd amount of damage. This saga is just fun from top to bottom. Every chapter is worthwhile and feels good.
Absolutely. I did not realize that it said trample. I thought it was vigilance and lifelink, and that's why I thought it was kind of meh. But knowing that it says trample, I'm like, oh, that's rough. That's so rough.
Mm-hmm.
Geek number 4.
Like Benji, the middle bits of these are kind of interchangeable, but mine is Magmatic Hellkite. 2 red for a 4/5 dragon. Of course, it has flying. When this creature enters, destroy target non-basic Mazavith an opponent controls. Any non-basic, actually, an opponent controls. Its controller searches their library for a basic land card, puts it in the battlefield tapped with a stun counter on it, and then shuffles.
That's
I
mean.
love non-basic hate. I am a full advocate of destroying that Gaia's Cradle that you're using and abusing, that Cabal Coffers you're using and abusing, the Urborg, the Mazavith, Nykthos,
Yeah.
Command Beacon.
Glacial Chasm, Shadow
Screw you,
Tomb of
use your-
Edicris.
Yeah, no one wants Command Bacon. You're right.
Yeah, I'm
Bacon.
full on that, and the fact that you usually give somebody a basic land in exchange for that, which is fine and good and dandy, but this one says, "Hold your horses," which
It's hot. You
So
need to
good.
let it cool off a bit.
exactly. It
Now,
got
this
hit
just
with
came out of the
magma.
oven.
Got hit with magma. time.
Now, I'm thinking about that in a blue-red deck with the fear of sleep paralysis, which is stun counters can't be removed off of permanent your opponent's control. So you just give them a basic land that just doesn't untap ever.
And then you blink the dragon.
Yep.
Okay, see, you're taking my normal, very easy, like, just get rid of that one problem thing.
Benji brought up blinking. Well, it's still non-basic
there.
land, so eventually...
You started with the let's not take the stun counter off. Then Benji had to add a little gasoline.
Well, I would say...
Tools that were on the table, and I said, hey, what if you use them?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking you just do it in Spider-Man. You can't remove your stun counters, but I can to draw cards.
Oh yeah, there's a Spider-Man card that does that.
Yeah, the Spider-Man that's gonna be in
out of
the...
my brain.
Yeah.
No, I love everything about this card. I like it's a dragon. It hates off things I don't like, but not like a big wipe of lands, so people don't get too mad. Hopefully.
The other thing that people forget about a lot
little problem.
with this stuff is, does it say opponents?
Yes, only opponents.
Okay. I like using these kinds of effects on my own stuff when I have indestructible lands, and it just ramps me.
Yeah,
That's fair.
totally. That's the thing you can do.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm a silly boy.
A quick follow-up question for these. This is one of the dragons that has the double-faced versions where the backside shows a baby of the dragon.
Yes.
I just want to get people's thoughts. What are your opinions on this specific treatment?
I think it's kind of silly, but it's fine.
I'm
It's
50-50 on it.
It's silly but fine. I like more
Yeah,
treatments.
like-
It makes certain treatments cheaper if
Yes.
you care about having cool treatments. They're not always for me. But no, I like that they exist.
Yeah.
My
do you
opinion is that so obviously ambassador here. I love Tarkir. I don't like these treatments at all.
Really? Okay.
The baby side of all of the dragons looks like someone used an AI filter to de-age it. Which is I'm not trying to be shady to the artist because you all did a great job. The art looks amazing. The dragons themselves look like someone held up Snapchat and de-aged them. It's really uncomfortable and awkward.
The Ugin one is really weird.
Yeah, the
Ugin
I was
one
just about
is-
to say...
After the flip
He had a diaper on.
bolus with the baby Ugin on the flip bolus and the cute to brute deck, that's the bar, and they didn't meet it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm so sorry to the artists. I love you. Please don't hate me.
They
No,
do great work.
I get where you're coming from. Like, yeah, that's what I was telling you. I'm 50-50 on some of them. I'm like, okay, these work a little bit. The other ones, like Yuga one, no. I saw Yuga, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
And there's Ryan's one.
Oh, that means I still have one. Yeah.
I haven't used one either.
Yeah. I just imagine that Geek and Benji are going to sync up at the very end of the video.
Just
That
one
was-
big loud one.
Yep. And then that brings us to Ryan's number 4.
Mine.
Looking at your number 4, I'm so not surprised. I've known you for so long.
You're about to say, I am nothing if not predictable. But my number 4 is a Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. I saw this card get announced, and I'm like, I need this immediately for my Dragon deck. It taps for it taps for a colorless, or you can tap, add 1 mana of any color, and you can spend only spend this to cast a dragon spell or an omen spell, which I think is actually nifty. Or you can pay for it, tap, and you sack this land, you search your library for any dragon card in your deck, you reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle. This, like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I need this. And I got lucky with my my collector booster box, and I actually pulled it, so as soon as I get around to upgrading Ur Dragon, it's going right in there.
Oh boy. Do dragon decks need 18 copies of this? If they could replace every basic land with it, they would.
Well, then they
this
wouldn't be able to
land-
put in those really cool Dragon Eye basics.
Oh yes, please. The Dragon Eyes, the 4 Dragon Eye basics, my word. I would like to get more of them, but they're going for like a minimum $20 a pop.
Oh, they're at 20
There's-
now?
Oh, depending on which ones,
It's because they're only available in collector boosters.
Which is why,
And they're not in every collector booster.
Exactly.
Yes, which is even worse.
So anytime I go to my LGS, I'm like, I see play boosters. I'm like, nope, you got collectors? Yes, cool, taking 2.
This is the one thing I will be critical on Wizards about, is that they do things like this where they introduce these really, really cool and awesome things and they make them super limited. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, the 1/1 ring was incredibly flavorful. It was a terrible idea.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a real big fan of serialized cards to begin with. I think that they just create a toxic collection mentality. And so, like, that's just personally how I feel about it.
Yeah, I have never pulled a serialized card. Technically, the only serialized type of card I ever pulled was the green foil Cavern of Souls from Ixalan. But I turned around and I liked it. I turned around and sold it. I got credit.
The closest I got, Ryan, you were there when I pulled this card, was the the golden anime Vren from Bloomborough.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was very, very pretty. Super pretty. The LGS was just like, so how much do you want for it?
Yeah, like the LGS literally did offer to buy like right then and there.
They should make these things more readily available. In my personal opinion.
For lands, I agree.
For basic lands specifically. Like, I can understand not offering like all the non-basics, like offering the villages as their like the village, the encampment, the things like that as like their own thing. Like I can understand not offering that, but like
basics is like, come on.
The bundle came with the presence lands, not with these.
Yeah.
It feels really weird to introduce this really cool thing and talk about how cool it is and how excited people should be for it, and then put it behind what is one of the highest collector booster box ticket prices that I've seen. It in a set that is already really strong and that people will want to buy collector boosters for.
There's just they've been sold out of like boosters. I don't usually get them, but it's interesting to see.
That's super popular set. So like go ahead.
No, sorry. I've been lucky, like, and because Scrupp and I here, like, we both go to the same LGS, so we both can have the what's the word? Like, we've had the opportunity to at least be able to get more than just like what because like my collector box, I didn't buy that right. I had to pre-order that to make sure I even got one.
I cracked one. I'm done. I pulled foil Ugin. I'm done.
I am still mad at you for pulling that when I need him.
Yeah, I was like, I'll purchase one pack. What's the harm?
You don't need Ugin.
I need it for Graz, not even Dragon for Graz.
You don't need it in Graz.
I don't believe in gatekeeping. Ryan, I'm keeping this from you.
I know you are, you son of a gun.
For my inevitable colorless deck, that I will do terrible things with this card.
No, Graz is one of my favorite decks, though. It's freaking.
My number 4.
Ugin is not necessary.
My number 4 is, and this always happens to me, an uncommon always makes my top 5. My number 4 is Hardened Tactician.
Really good card.
First off, I am an Orzhov baby bitch, and I will never stop.
Someone put that on a t-shirt.
I'll wear it.
I'm an Orzhov baby bitch, and I will never stop.
And then just put a small eyelet at the bottom to let them know my favorite 3 colors Esper. Hardened Tactician is 1 black and a white for a 2/4 creature human warrior. Pay 1, sacrifice a token, draw a card. This does not say the word creature. You got a token? Sack it. Turn the card draw.
You know what else this doesn't have? A tap symbol.
Yeah, so it's repeatable. As long as you got the mana and you've got the tokens.
Go ham.
Go.
Stop making me want to build Felithar's treasure, damn it.
Look, if you build Felithar clues, this sacks your clues for a discount.
It does, though, actually. I pulled 2 copies of it. The first one went into my food deck. Didn't even think about it. The second one, I wanted to rub out the black pip and put it in my Griffin's deck. I love the idea of a dude with one arm going, hey, you, come here. Cuts its wings off, turn the card draw, go.
So mean.
Terribly mean. Love this card. Love uncommons. Also, 3 mana for a 2/4 is an aggressive cost for power and toughness.
And yeah, 4 power in a standard environment's pretty good.
I just love
Or
that.
4 toughness.
Yeah.
Power.
I know what you meant. It's good. This also works really, really well in both Mardu because you can sack the warrior tokens before they would be sacrificed at the end step to turn their card draw.
Have Zergo out.
What?
Unless you have Zergo out.
Ooh, that's an interesting
He
rule.
says you can't sacrifice them. We said that before.
They can't be sacrificed,
So
so you
Sure,
couldn't
Texas.
pay the cost.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you would not be able to turn around and with Zergo out sacrifice those to draw cards.
So, it does, however, also work really well with Endure. If you're enduring for small amounts, this turns those 1/1s into card draw.
Sinkhole Surveyor becomes a really good partner to this card.
Oh, it's beautiful. Also, love the idea that this is going to be a pauper deck commander because I could see this doing miserable things.
I'm surprised you haven't started building that.
That's because I'm building Denethor. And I'm really trying really hard to find a.
Be interchangeable. Just have them as.
This is true, unfortunately.
Are you gonna squeeze a cherry tomato all over your Denethor?
Yeah, right? Just, well, your song's not good enough for my halls. And so anyway, yeah, that's my number 4. I'm very, very happy with my number 4. That brings us to number 3, Benji.
Okay, so I think this set has incredibly powerful uncommons. And so my number 3 was almost my number 1. This card has so much utility. It's Fleeting Effigy. It's a 2/2 haste elemental for 1 red mana. And it says at the beginning of your end step, return this creature to its owner's hand. It has more text. For 2 and a red, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So here's the reason why I like this card so much. It works really well with your hyper aggressive Mardu decks. It's a 1 mana haste. If it gets through, you get to do it again next turn. It works really well for Eshki. This is a creature. You cast it. You don't do anything with it. It comes back to hand. You have another creature to cast next turn. It works really well for Flurry. If this is one of your 2 cards, again, you do nothing with it. It returns to hand. You have another spell. Fleeting Effigy is my new pet card. I think there's so much that you can do with this card. That it is an elemental means that if you're playing Temur Omnath and you've got that 1 elemental that gets you a land whenever you cast an elemental.
A Risen Reef.
Risen Reef. Hello, this is 1 extra land a turn, guaranteed. Just bonkers card. This card is so strong, and I'm not seeing anybody talk about it. So now I am.
This is a lot of fun. This also is great for actually teaming up with one of my cards, like Winter Night Story. You could play this, swing with it, bounce it back to hand and have it to be able to discard to do things like that. It gives me a little bit of reinforced Ronin vibes from Kamigawa. I like this. This is hilarious. This is a fun little. I also love the idea of I'm on fire. Somebody help!
Oh my god. On top of that, you said Winter Night Stories. It's also kind of funny that you can cast it for 1 and discount a Harmonize for 2 off of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
1
it's actually
mana 2/2 haste is pretty good. I wonder how that one goes with Modern Burn. Because they usually want, or maybe Legacy Burn, they always wanted like a 1 mana.
I also think this is
CC
funny
creature.
because going with what Benji was saying, if you go by the flavor text of the card, which is the Brushfires of Quarry Mountain take on a life all their own, this actually works great with Flurry too. This is an easy first or second spell to cast to guarantee you're getting extra abilities.
Absolutely. If you cast this with Tigum out, don't do that. Don't cast this with Tigum out. That's a bad idea. What's the other one? The one that deals damage. That I think Geek, you mentioned it. The Quarry Mountain creature.
Ryan won that. Quarry Mountain Stalwart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's just, anyways. I'm gonna stop. I could gush about this for a while.
Yeah,
Good
this card's interesting.
The uncommons are good.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see uncommons get a little bit more of a spotlight than just like the rares and the mythics.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. Because like, it's not like, yeah, obviously rares and mythics are gonna always have the spotlight because like that's how the rarity works. But like, when you look at all, like, everyone's always just looking at the rares and mythics, like no one really turns to look at the uncommons, and you always find those like diamonds in there, like they're just like. Yeah, I agree.
And they make your deck pop. They make your deck unique. They make it interesting. People are gonna be like, "I've never heard of this card," and you'd be like, "Yeah, because you're elitist."
I mean, hey.
Sorry, that caught me off guard. Caught me real off guard.
I took our host out.
Also, Storm decks love this thing too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love most of the red uncommons and commons in the set. They're just good.
This is, I think somebody had said that like Mark Rosewater put that the in-universe sets should feel like Magic. And like Aether Drift was one of those ones where I don't know if it 100% felt like Magic. It definitely had elements that did. Tarkir feels like Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's cards like this where you sit there and you go, this is fun. This is fun to see. Oh no, I'm gonna lose too. I'm also looking at this and going, mono red pauper EDH deck, huh? With this as a commander? Huh. So I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you with my commander.
Yeah, turn 1, I hit you for 2. Have fun.
Bounce it back to hand. I'll never pay commander tax. You have to kill this thing. Alrighty. That brings us on to Geek, your number 3.
There's gonna be a theme here.
Oh boy.
I'm a red mage, so.
Oh yeah.
My number 3 is Ursa Light Shatter. 2 in a red for a legendary orc wizard. She has haste. She's 3/3. Has haste. When she enters, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. I love looting. That's always fun. Whenever she attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, exile a card at random from your graveyard. You may play that card this turn. I love exile effects in red. Impulse draw and all that has been my favorite thing ever.
This is from your graveyard. So this is something very unique. Because I don't believe we've ever truly seen an effect like this on a legendary creature.
Not quite repeat. No.
Not in red.
Not in mono red, definitely.
Yeah.
This is very, very interesting. Also, she's aggressively costed and statted. 3 mana, 3/3 with haste.
And her clan frame art looks really good.
Really good. Yep.
Oh yeah, she's just like
got the lightning.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that is some beautiful art.
I'm realizing as you were reading the card, I believe Kiora from Foundations has very similar text.
She is enter, draw 2, discard 2. So she does it the blue side where you draw first and then discard. But her ability is threshold.
Rummage, not loot. Yeah.
Yeah, she is also an attack trigger, and you have to have a certain amount of cards in your graveyard for a thing to happen.
Hers is it's both of them are threshold. So it's 7 or more cards. She makes it 8/8 Kraken Octopus. This one is 7 or more. Exile a card at random and then do the thing.
If this turns out to be a cycle, I'm kind of intrigued.
What, if you have 7 in your graveyard, do this extra thing?
Like enters, do a thing, 7 or more, do a thing on attack.
I'm down for that.
3 mana monocolor legendary. Yeah, I'd be really cool with that.
It'd be interesting to see.
Cared about the graveyard? Let's go.
That'd be very interesting to see, actually. But Geek,
the green one then.
Geek, great. That one's just gonna say when this enters, your mom dies. of your target opponent's mom died. Like, it's aggressive.
Wow.
I know. The problem is green just... we're going to have to do a color theory video because I have very, very, very strong opinions on green for this game. Sorry. Apologies. That was aggressive and over the top, and I'm very, very sorry about that.
What green would do is to take out the whole lasting trauma for your opponent angle. Is that you draw 2 or 3 and then you discard 2 unless you discard a land, and then when you attack, if you have 7 or more cards, you make some green mana and it doesn't go away when the turn ends.
I actually would rather
Very
see
green.
I actually would rather see, because in the same vein we're dealing with like 7 or more cards from the graveyard do the thing. I actually would rather see it something be like Loam Speaker from Dominar United, where if you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, animate a land that becomes an attacking land.
That'd be cool too.
That could be fun. I also think I would handle it more like a growth spiral. It comes in, you draw a card, and may play and may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield.
A lot for 3 mana.
It's green.
Yeah.
You got to include the graveyards. We're not here to talk about this. Though.
Yes. Yeah.
I could keep
Apologies.
talking about this too. Goodness gravy.
That brings us to Ryan. Your number 3. We're finally gonna get to talk about it.
Yes, because number 3 was one of the 5 dragons we briefly talked about. And my number 3 is Taval, Arbiter of Virtue. 2 and Sultai for a 6/6 legendary creature spirit dragon with flying and lifelink. Spells you cast have delved, and whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value.
Yes,
Yeah.
Benji.
Yes, Benji.
Yes. Hi. You kill this player, and then you go to Nariv.
Yeah, I played with this on Arena, and this card is nutty. I was like, I didn't know what to think about Taval when I first saw him, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of meh. Played 2 cards and went, oh no, this is drugs.
He's nasty. For Sultai, he is a nasty creature. I don't know. Normally, I don't tread with Sultai. Sultai is one of the color combos I struggle with building. I just saw him.
Join the dark side. We have cookies.
I saw Taval and I'm like, I like your ability. I like it though because I am the type of person, like, if I know I'm going to lose, I will be spiteful enough to go like, screw that, I'm going on my own terms. I will
How very red of you.
I will on my own terms.
I do have to say the dragon frame of this art.
I've seen
the art
me
was
do it numerous
great.
times.
Oh yeah.
I think Benji
I
was
am
good
so
too.
spiteful, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'll take it myself out if I can.
This is
Yeah, I was gonna say that the quote unquote downside of this card is barely a downside. People were talking about it like, oh no, that's a big problem. Like you're gonna lose a lot of. No, you're not.
No.
You're getting a
It's just
discount.
lifelink too.
Yeah, it's a
Ended it.
6/6 with lifelink. You're gonna make back enough to cast a couple of spells.
Yeah, it's not
and
gonna
then
outright kill you.
I'm sure there's nothing in Sultai that can allow you to gain obscene amounts of life. This card is utterly bonkers.
And it's not
Oh,
like
it
it
is.
says you can only cast like 1 spell a turn with the delve thing. It's
Nope.
all of them.
Yeah,
my
keep
favorite
going, have
thing
fun.
to do would be repay in kind with this out. I would cast it. I would lose a bunch of life and then drag you all down with me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I love.
And then you do Torment of Hellfire for 2.
Yeah,
I mean, a simple exsanguinate.
I was just thinking it. I didn't want to say it.
Anyway, well,
I'm gonna cast a Sanguinate for 12. I'll lose 12, but then y'all all will also lose 12, and I'll gain 12, meaning y'all just lost 12.
Yep.
Well, you don't even need to because you've got delve. You just need like you're paying 2 mana for this.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's so ridiculous.
This is a very strong
Green
dragon.
needs to stop getting away with it.
I can agree with that.
What do you think my comment earlier was about?
you don't need a discount green because you already get
No.
lands, but
Yeah.
you also like the brackets fully just. I mean, they're just like, hey, green, go wild. Everybody else, fuck you.
Yeah, literally.
There's Benji's.
Got my one.
Not, you ain't lying though. That's you ain't lying at all.
Yeah, like my comment was over the top, and I'm fully aware of that, and I apologize. It's
Green freaking. Oh
You're
man.
I know, but
mean,
it's
the color that brings out the 1 mana resource that is socially unacceptable to get rid of is really strong, turns out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that's why I've your opinions can change as you play Magic. There is nothing wrong with that. For example, Ryan got into a very heated discussion with somebody who is incredibly anti-proxy, and now he does play proxies. And it happens.
Came back and I told him, I warned him, like I said to him, like you're not, like, because he, well, slight tangent. His argument was like, oh, if I build a deck and I don't like it, I just sell it out. And I counter argued him saying, like, you understand, you are never going to get your full profit back for a deck you build. You are eventually going to run into a negative, and you are going to have to go to proxies. Lo and behold, 1 year later, he's on proxies. I'm like, told you.
But
Number 3.
Taval's beautiful.
No,
No, no.
con art
No
is
notes.
Amazing.
And the even better part is we get to stay in Sultai because my number 3 is Fangkeeper's Familiar. It's 1 black, green, blue for a 3/3 creature snack. It's got flash, and when this creature enters, choose 1. You gain 3 life and surveil 3. Destroy target enchantment. Counter target creature spell. I love modes. I love flash. I love Sultai. Every part of my brain went, snake.
I have a nickname for this card.
What is it?
Mystic or Snake.
Yeah.
Add a color and it just gets even more annoying.
There's more Mystic for your snake.
I also love the idea that this is Codus's snake.
And that you have the Sip 6 ceremony out, and then you cast it and you get the effect, and then it dies and you get a zombie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
This is so versatile. So versatile. I don't think enough people are going to realize that the mode you're most likely going to choose is the gain 3 life and surveil 3, because that is just universally good when you're in a Sultai deck. You do not realize how often those other 2 modes are going to be used, though. This is just a creature. I am not a fan of cards that can fit into just every deck because it's just generically good. Like Jessica Will is a strong card. I choose not to play it because I hate of how universally good it is. I've put it in Adamaro because he needs it. This is a card that could go in every Sultai deck that I'm okay with. Because it's not overly powerful. This is just, it's very middle of the road, but this middle of the road is okay. And that's great.
And I think you'll probably end up including it in every Sultai deck for a different reason.
Yeah. And I think that's also one of the like better part. Like, if you have a card like it's like, oh, I want to slot this in this deck, like, oh, I need it for this reason. But like in this like that also shows like the versatility of the card itself. Like where it's like, oh, it's not just doing the same thing over and over. It's like, no, it's doing a different thing in this deck, but it does something else in this deck, and it's like that. Those are fun. Like that. Like that's always like when like you designed a good card when it is versatile and can be used in any which sort of way.
There's
I think
also
my biggest. Go ahead.
also the con frame of this one is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The
Absolutely
con
gorgeous.
frame, they really did good on a lot of the cards, honestly.
Yeah.
The arts are really good. The only thing I have against it is like sometimes it's hard to tell what color the card is.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I've seen some feedback about that frame. Like you can't really see the con symbol, you can't really see the colors. The just bunch of black makes it weird. I love them. I don't care what I can't
Cons are
see.
really good.
I think they just look really good. My one gripe about the snake is the mana value. And I realize you're getting a lot from it, but I still like that's a lot to hold up.
It is like because like I think at like 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, your opponents could be like they probably don't have anything. If you've like shown your poker hand, you're actively holding up 4 or more mana, you've got something. The question is what?
Yeah, if you're in Sultai and you have 4 lands untapped, yeah, I'm coming at you.
I got a flashed in blocker. I'm fine.
Yeah, have fun.
If it's just flashed in to be a flash in blocker to gain 3 life and surveil 3, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just didn't count him a thing.
Yeah, this is never a bad play, which I love. Yeah. We're getting into the tops here. Benji, number 2.
All right, I got another uncommon, and I picked this one because it works differently than you think it does. So this is the Stalwart Successor. This is a 3/2 human warrior for 1, a green, and a black. It's got menace, and then it says whenever 1 or more counters are put on a creature you control, if it's the first time counters have been put on that creature this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. This is not giving Kami of Whispered Hopes text. This is saying if you would put a counter, there is an additional trigger to put a counter.
Because
if you have Kami of Whispered Hopes out, that's 4 counters.
This also does not care what kind of counter.
Nope.
You want to throw on shield, keywords. I mean, I don't know why you would put a -1, -1. Though this does work with the druid that can untap itself. For the first time, it'll untap for free.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think how people are going to initially read this card is as if it had that Kami of Whispered Hopes tech. If you would put 1 or more +1/+1 counters, put that many +1/+1/+1 counters. But it is separate trigger that will be amplified by hardened scales or Kami of Whispered Hope, stuff like that. I think this card is this is another one where I'm not seeing enough talk about it. And if you have this out in Felithar,
oh good, yeah, good God.
And Felithar's the
disgusting things.
That's gonna hurt.
This is like reasons I really wish that Brina was an Obzon, because Brina can trigger on my opponent's turns. And it's just beautiful for that effect. So, like, I understand why Geek was trying to build a political Obzon deck. There's pieces of me that just like, oh, Brina, I really wish you had green.
I could do it, but 1 counters are not always my favorite thing.
I understand.
But if I can do treasures, it might be all right.
Oh, yeah. No, I think this is fun, something different. Also, I'm a big party player, and this is a warrior.
True.
Oh, yeah. I'm in for it. Geek.
Good choice.
Number 2.
My number 2 is the land we didn't talk about, Quarry Mountain Monastery. This land enters tapped unless you have a plains or an island. It's the Jeskai land. It adds red mana. For 3 in red, you tap it to exile the top card of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play the card. It is Impulse Draw. I love it. I love Impulse Draw. It's on land. The artwork's really good.
This being instant speed and repeatable is very strong.
Going in Mind of Mizzet deck, which is a Exile Matter sub-theme in that one. It goes in any number of other things I'm going to be doing.
Honestly, I probably put this in my Automaro deck because I just need the extra card advantage sometimes. And I play so many wheels. This is my opponent sitting there like, he's gonna wheel this turn, but like, he's gonna get to play a bunch of other stuff because he knows that he's wheeling.
I'm going to share a really disgusting idea I just had. Crap. I'm going to say the name wrong. Green, red.
Faldorn.
Faldorn. Felithar has ruined my ability to say Faldorn. Faldorn, this land, Seedborn Muse. Have fun.
I have all those cards.
Oh,
Yay.
God. Yeah, oh God, that is yikes.
I mean,
Benji's not allowed on the Benji's not allowed on
I'm
the
s-
show anymore.
I'm so sorry that
Oh,
I'm bringing
no,
up
no,
this
no.
obscure card, Seedborn Muse, that nobody has ever played.
Mine has
You
sat
know,
in my box for a long time.
wasn't it
But yeah.
in the Taval commander deck?
Mm-hmm.
Seedborn Muse? I don't think so.
No, it
No,
was
it's in Felithar.
Oh, is it?
Lord. Oh, that's fun.
Let's check.
Cool. I will
We can-
say, when I see a Seedborn Muse out on the board, you are my enemy. I will kill you
I mean,
if I can.
or just kill the Seedborn Muse.
Well, failing killing the Seedborn Muse, the player also.
kill the player. Yeah, yeah. That's
Well,
fair.
Benji's doing that information. Ryan, number 2. Again, another card I'm super not surprised of. Love you,
Yeah.
but I'm not surprised.
So number 2 for me is Call of the Spirit Dragons. It almost made number 1, but nah. It simply put, it's a enchantment that it costs Wooburg, so white, blue, black, red, green. Dragons you control have indestructible.
Because they
And at
needed
the
that.
beginning of-
Sorry.
I mean, technically, yes, it did.
Oh, okay. It is in there.
At the beginning of your upkeep, for each color, put a 1/1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. If you put 1/1 counters on 5 dragons this way, you win the game. I don't know why they did the win the game one, honestly. Like, and to make it just 5, I'm like, okay.
That could have easily said if you put 5 +1/+1 counters on, if you put a +1/+1 counter on 5 dragons this way, repeat this process once, and it still would have been really strong.
Yeah.
So this card has actually inspired a deck idea in my head that I don't know if there's enough cards to do the thing, but I want a deck that has no dragons, that only makes dragon tokens, and then try to win with it that way. I don't think there's a support for this deck yet, but I think it's funny to win off of something.
Well, there is blue dragon tokens and red dragon tokens, but I don't know if there's dragon tokens of any other kind.
Yeah, I'm trying.
They're mostly red and a couple blue.
There's changeling tokens in white.
Yeah, no, that's it. Because
That's cheating.
then you're just doing a Morathon build with this, which I don't like as much. What am I thinking? Philagi. I'm spelling it wrong. That's fine.
It's
I don't. I'm looking something up, but that was my thing. That was my cool idea.
I
Sounds
guess
interesting.
I guess dragons needed a way to win more. Sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I will admit, when I saw this card get announced, I'm like, I'm not sure what they were thinking in that sense, because like, you'll basically my stance on this is this, especially when I like with this, I will slot this in Arrow Dragon. I will get this off once, and then as soon as that hits the field again, it'll be all hands on deck killing me.
Honestly, I don't even think the winning part is the strongest part about it. I think the fact giving dragons indestructibles and insane.
Yeah.
They super didn't need this effect.
No, I don't think that. Especially because like a lot of dragons do have like we saw with Ireni, like protection from white and black. There are other dragons that have protection from other stuff too. Like it's like, all right, you want like so dragons that have protection now you just can't kill them. Period. Like seriously. Like, but me being a dragon person that I am, that I saw this card, I'm like, mine.
Yeah, I figured.
I don't see how you don't just win before you win.
If you have that many
Yeah.
dragons in Ur Dragon, you're going to win anyway, or you should
Oh,
be
yeah.
on the path to winning already. But might as well have it. The indestructibility is nice.
Look,
Oh,
if
yeah.
someone
On the
says
board like it.
you can't attack, then you're just like, okay, I still win.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, you're gonna stop me attacking. Cool. I actually, funny enough, we had this was a Magic night actually last year, I think, and our one friend was playing a stacks deck, and I played Sidar Jabbar. He's like, oh yeah, you can't. I'm like, okay, discard a knight, play the knight from the graveyard. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you, dude. Like, you're not. Sidar was the hard counter for his stacks deck, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is nothing. But yeah, like especially like even with our dragon, like with this, like you said, like if someone's stopping you from attacking, I'm like, all right, good man, upkeep, put a counter on these dragons. I have 5 dragons with 1/1 counters now. I win. It's like it's just done.
Yeah, so yeah, we've said what we can say about this card.
Yeah, there's not really much else to say about it.
My number 2 is a card I alluded to earlier. It's the Chris Ron card. This is Rot Curse Rakshasa. It's
I actually really do like that card.
1 and a black for a 5/5 creature demon with trample and decayed, which is this creature can't block it when it attacks, sacrifice at the end of combat. It has renew for X black. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a decayed counter on each of X target creatures. Activate only as a sorcery.
One of the weirdest board wipes I've ever seen.
Right?
I put this into my goad deck.
Yeah, it's I'm gonna decay your whole board. Swing
You are now required legally by law to swing.
and die.
You can't swing at me.
A
You
lot-
use your creature after.
A lot of you are going to die, and that is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
I love goad. I love this card.
I do love the idea though that like Zurgo has made a bunch of warrior tokens and you put the decayed counters on them and Zurgo swings and Zurgo's the only man who dies because the other ones can't be sacked. So they just sit there and just go, "Boss, what happened? Boss? Why are we okay? Boss!"
I will say I hate Goad, but I respect the play.
I mean, nobody likes their agency removed, but goad is a control strategy, and it is my favorite form of control. If I'm gonna sit down with a goad deck, I fully plan on just watching. I almost fell over.
I'm sorry.
I just want to say that
I can respect it.
this card, I love cards that give me choices. This card is devastating whether it is in the graveyard already or it's on the battlefield. Because first off, you have to deal with a 2-mana 5/5 Trampler, which is very relevant. Even if it can't block, it's gonna hurt. And then if you put it in the bin, it's okay, cool. I would love to watch your thing die immediately. Because you have no reason not to swing with it. It can't block. I love this card. Chris Ron, excellent design. Please make me a Solemn Simulacrum. I would love that. Thank you. Yeah. That's number 2.
Right.
And that brings us into the final stretch. Benji, what is your number 1 favorite card from Tarkir Dragonstorm?
Look, this is a lot of pressure. As someone with ADHD, I don't like saying what I have are my favorites. So I'm really stressed out right now. No, I'm kidding. That was a lot of words for a joke that's not that great. I'll do better. So I went with something that I guess a lot of people are going with, and I didn't realize. I was adding it to a list today, and in Moxfield, the price came up, and I was like, this is a $15 card right now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
Cutter. Yeah. It's an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 as trample and haste. It equips for 1 in a red. It's very easy to use. It's got a little bit more text. I'll read it. It might be cool. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess. You may attach this equipment to it. This shit is bananas.
BANANAS.
Yeah. And I think what appeals to me so much about this is I love casting my second spell. Like I already talked about this. If something asks me to do something twice, I'm gonna enjoy getting a benefit for doing it. But then when you add in the fact that you get to pre-equip this, yeah, we're gonna go with that. And it's a creature with prowess natively. the creature that it creates, and the blade gives it trample, I'm just like, this. If there's anybody who's not taken a serious look at this card and gone, oh damn, do it. Take a moment, look at the card, go, oh damn, and then play it.
I just did it in my head, but I did.
Oh damn, yeah, it's obscenely good. I'll give you something. I'll give you something else to think about. There's a card from Big Score called Oltec Matter Weaver. And whenever you cast a creature spell, you can either make a 1/1 or create a copy of an artifact you control. Yep.
Oh. I see.
My statement to this is there is a Gruul prowess deck that's going around in Standard currently. And I'm sure that deck runs 8 of these things, even though they're only allowed to run 4. That's just because, like, they recently banned Monstrous Rage, which, by the way, was a single red mana to give a creature +2/+0 and a monster roll token, which gives it +1/+1 and trample. This is the replacement for it. And you're making the creatures that need to wear this stuff to go to war.
So what I'm hearing you say is, wait. Don't buy it now. Wait until it gets banned.
I don't think this will get banned because there is quite a few hoops to jump through with it. If you do not have a second spell to cast, let's say, much like most prowess decks do, you've emptied your hand with no card draw. This starts to look worse because then you just have 2/2s with trample and haste, and they don't look as good. They really look their best when they're like 5/5s with trample and haste because you cast a single spell.
Mm-hmm.
There is an uncommon. Sorry, go ahead.
2 spells and then pay 1 into your hardened tactician and sacrifice this guy that you made off of the blade and draw a card.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you can continuously make these 1/1s, which again is nutty to think about. Like, this card, I could see this card doing a lot in so many decks. Like, equipment decks are going to want to run this just because it offers trample and haste and an extra body if your commander keeps dying. I need 6 copies for Cap.
Nahiri, the one that wants you to equip and go wide, this is an auto include.
Oh yeah.
Because it's practically living weapon or for Mirrodin. Like it basically makes its own body. I mean, it does make its own body, but it basically does it like right away.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like to your whole thing with that fleeting effigy that you brought up. So for 3 mana, of which 2 is red, this comes in and makes a 2/2, and I have another 2/2 that could swing right this second. Okay.
Take 4.
Jesus.
That's absurd.
Ugh. Okay. Geek. You're number 1.
I said I was doing most of these on vibes, and that's what I'm doing. Mine is a Mardu card. Mardu Siegebreaker. 1 red, white, black for a 4/4 Death Touch Hasting Human Warrior. He's riding a chicken. I'm gonna go on that. When this creature enters, exile up to 1 other target creature you control until this creature leaves the battlefield. Okay, that's kind of weird. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent, make a tap token that's a copy of the exiled card attacking that opponent. At the beginning of your next end step, sack tokens. I love that effect.
So this is mobilize asterisk.
Well, this is like, I will exile this giant warrior dude or something. Or this big dragon, this Terror of the Peaks, and then I'm going to attack you, and now, hey, there's a bunch of them.
Hey, everybody take up Blightsteel.
I mean, you weren't supposed to say it. Jeez.
Everybody take this Darksteel.
Who's running Darksteel, honestly? Not me.
Throws a shoe.
But no, it's just funny shenaniganry, and I love that kind of thing. Just wonky bullshit. Hey, there's mine.
You didn't say the F word.
Yeah.
Oh,
Technically speaking, I believe we get one F word total, but still, anyway. We're not family friendly. We were for the first like 25 minutes.
I'm family hostile.
I'm family aggressive. This is just great. I love this. I would absolutely, and I know you're gonna yell at me for this. Solemn goes under this boy in a heartbeat. Attack and get 3 lands!
we all have our pet cards. You have that. I have Descent into Avernus. It's fine.
Yes.
Oh my! See, my pet card is Stormherd.
Oh, and Possibility Storm, and Teferi's Puzzle Box.
I just think this is...
I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah, this effect is crazy. Anything that has a combat damage trigger, like for example, like Ryan mentioned earlier, Bloodthirster. This on a Bloodthirster is nuts.
Throw the siege in that doubles attack triggers.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it slots into Ishin decks.
I don't want. No. No.
I mean,
Alrighty.
You don't want to close the game out?
I do want to close the game out. I've done decks like this already. I don't want to do it again. Do I want to do it again?
Do it.
Do it under Nariv. Don't do it under Ishin.
I wouldn't do it under Ishin.
Yeah.
I believe that's gonna bring us to Ryan and his number 1. I'm gonna guess it's a dragon.
Oh yes, it is.
No way.
Shock. Shock.
I am nothing if not predictable, especially for a dragon set. No, my number 1 is Stormscale Scion. I'm sorry. I tried not to make this my number 1, but this dragon is disgusting.
Oh,
Not-
yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, Stormscale Scion is 4 red for a 4/4 dragon with flying. Also has the ability other dragons you control get +1/+1. Great card out the gate. Doesn't need any more. They gave it Storm. Why did you have to give it Storm?
Because it's Dragonstorm. Brr, 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 brr.
My favorite thing in Magic is the Storm Scale, which is like, I love how people in Wizards R&D goes, Storm is actively a mistake of a mechanic, and then they pull this shit. Why?
I'm sorry.
Why did the dragon need Storm? Give it Squad! Make them pay for it!
The card itself alone, even without Storm, was already disgusting. That it was a red anthem for dragons out to get the get-go.
I'm about to say, I don't think we've had a Dragon Lord before. Like, truly.
No, I like this one. Like it's weird. Like the Storm part is not really what drew me to it. Like Storm's just not a bonus. Because I personally don't. Even though I'm a Jeskai player and like a spell slinger type, I don't care for Storm. I really don't. But like the fact that this is like it's another dragon like that I can cheat out with our dragon, slot it in, and it immediately buffs all my dragons. Bonus part, yeah, with the Storm I get more than one copy if I cast it. But obviously if I cheat out with our dragon, the Storm ain't gonna trigger because it's not being cast. It's a placement effect.
This is the first Dragon Lord. There's other effects that give dragons pluses, but they're usually enchantments.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes. It's a
So-
doozy.
Yeah.
It is a doozy. This is a game ender. Like if you were playing this late game, you are going to you're trying to get the Storm count up, so you're getting multiple +1/+1 counters for your dragons on the field. And the problem is, it doesn't just buff your dragons; it buffs other dragons.
So
No, other dragons you
No, no,
control. I'm
yeah.
sorry, I misread.
yeah, here's what you do with this card.
Put in the trash.
You no. Friendships maybe. You cast Dracogenesis. You cast Tiamat from the command zone.
Shut your mouth.
You get the 5 dragons, including this one. You cast the other 4 first, then you
Yep.
cast this one. That's 1, 2, 3. I went to 4. That's what 6. It's Storm 6.
Yes.
Storm 6. Yeah, like it's like all right, like I'm gonna like it's like people go, oh, I'm gonna do what's called a pro player move. Like, no, you're just going to you're gonna be an asshole and you're gonna end the game. I'm like, I'm taking this win.
Look, if you
I was
get to
thinking-
do it, like
Oh,
more
yeah,
power
like,
to
if-
you. Have
Yeah,
fun.
if you're able to pull this off, it's amazing.
I
Honestly,
hate.
I'll say it. I probably would not slot this in Ur Dragon. I would probably slot this in like Narset or Shiko, like any of the other decks that can go in, or Rennie, like stuff like that. Ur Dragon, yes, it can go in there, but again, I'm probably gonna
The
like
cr-
it doesn't need it.
the crazy thing is, I actually think this just becomes a win con for Storm decks.
It really does.
Like, they already plan on doing this anyway, so now they have a second card, either like Gut Shot or this now. Because they'll find a way to give all their creatures haste for very cheap, and then they just cast
yeah,
this, and
especially in
you
red.
die to this anyway.
Like especially in red, like you also got like Impact Tremors, Perforos, God of the Forge, like stuff like that.
Warp
If you
Storm
get Storm
Surge.
high enough. Yep, Warstorms, exactly. So yeah, this card is just absurd.
Yeah.
Geek, have you been trying to say something about this card?
I was just thinking about I might throw it in my Clouth, my upcoming Clouth Dragon deck.
Yeah, sure. Especially because
Oh, man.
you definitely have more than an abundance of mana to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially if I use Great Henge, and I just cast the creature, draw a card, cast a creature, draw
Yep.
a card. Cast a creature, draw a card.
Oh
Can I
my
share a
god.
real quick tangent on Clouth.
Yeah.
It's in my Eshki deck, and Clouth and Eshki together are how I learned that Full Throttle does not give main phases.
Oh
All that
no.
mana. All
Oh
right.
no.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
And we are going to end it with my number one card. Y'all have seen my list. Everybody has been kind of all over the place. One of the things I really kept into mind was that I love graveyard things, affecting them, using them to my advantage. And it definitely, another love of mine is clones. So, of course, my number one card is Naga Fleshcrafter, who is 3 and a blue for a 0/0 creature snake shapeshifter. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. Then it has Renew, because it's not done. 2 and a blue, exile this card from your graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on target non-legendary creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. Do you want to say screw you to the person who played Stormscale Scion? You play your Naga Fleshcrafter, then exile your other Naga Fleshcrafter, and make all of your creatures into Stormscale Scions, and laugh at the dragon player in unison as you attack somebody else. You got one turn? Make it count!
With all the effects that make you make non-legendary tokens of legendary creatures, this is a really good card.
Yeah.
Like
This will go in my Essex deck.
when I first saw when you mentioned this to me, I had not seen this card at all, and now I'm like, oh, this thing is nasty.
It's
This is it.
I've got
This is a good
the
card.
con version of it. It's going to DC. Because I just think it's really funny to be like you know what? Everything's a Tato farmer.
Ooh.
I keep forgetting about that. I keep forgetting.
I
that
get
that's a card.
15 rad.
I get 15 rad, but also every land from my graveyard. Let's go.
Can I tell you where I'd play this?
Hmm.
Someone tell me no, please.
No, go for it.
So I actually have. If you're not familiar with it, it's because nobody plays it. It's a background called Shameless Charlatan.
Oh, yes. Pay 2 mana, it becomes a copy of a creature.
So I play Levon and Shameless Charlatan.
Oh.
And the deck is actually built around Nana Gene conversion because it makes everybody's creatures into a copy of whatever creature you choose. And I thought it would be funny to make every creature on the board a gutter snipe and see who pulls the trigger first. However, Naga Fleshcrafter is a really good backup plan for when you only want you to do it.
Yeah.
So really, really fond of the different ways that you can use this card. It's a shame that you don't get to copy enters triggers, but I mean, who needs enters triggers, right?
Yeah, I think you have this copy the enter trigger, and then you copy the big static creature you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the only downside to this card is very clearly the way that this should be used is teaming it up with itself in, say, like standard. So you have the one Naga Fleshcrafter in your bin already. You pay the second one copying an opponent's big creature that you need, and then exile the other one from your bin to make all of your creatures a copy of that creature. Like, you would need a clone copying the Stormscale Scion to then exile and make all your other creatures Stormscale Scions, or make all of them Mardu Siegebreakers, because why not?
I mean, Craterhoof is in standard, so
Well, the Marty one wouldn't work because each individual one wouldn't have a card exiled with them, and they don't get BTB.
There's still 4/4s with Death Touch.
That's still irrelevant, yeah.
Yeah. Probably, like, the big thing is...
It is legal in standard, isn't it? Ugh.
I'm really glad that this does not say just a creature, and it does say non-legendary. It makes things easier. But I mean, like, I know how bad this is going to sound. Turning all your things into Rot Curse Rakshasas, like, if it's enough to win you the game, who cares?
yeah.
I love this card. I love clones. I love the versatility. It's also, like, again, I know I brought this up a lot, but, like, aggressively costed. A 4-mana indiscriminate clone is very versatile.
Most clones are that.
Yeah.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Love clones.
So, folks, this has been our top 5 for Tarkir Dragonstorm. I will say, out of all the cards we've discussed today, Benji, what was your favorite off of somebody else's list?
Let me review the lists real quick. I think I know what it is, but I still want to take a quick gander. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Geek for choosing Songcrafter Mage.
Geek, how about you?
I really like that knife, even though I really hate equipment.
Man, I hate knives, but man, I love this one.
Who doesn't want a really, really pretty letter opener?
Right.
It definitely has to be the fleeting effigy like that. Like after Benji brought that up and brought that to my attention, I'm like, that is actually more disgusting than I thought. I didn't even know about that card until Benji mentioned it.
Mine's is it's gonna sound really like a sellout. It's Taval. I love that. I love that big dumb moron. It's one of those ones where I usually, when I'm playing a Commander Sealed, I will build the best commander I have available to me, unless I pull Taval. I don't care how bad my pool is, I'm building that.
So you're saying you're going to Vol or nothing?
Exactly. There will be no virtue
Does not
here.
have much psychic HP left.
Oh man,
Oh,
last
God.
year at Sealed was rough.
Oh yeah.
So
I dropped after the first round.
no, I'm talking about hanging out with all y'all all weekend and all your puns
It was mostly Tamir in my defense.
and you.
I have a
Oh, I'm
few.
innocent on
Our
that.
friend Tamir.
Tamir
Awesome.
would do that.
Yep.
Yep.
I was gonna say Will needs a Orzhov baby bitch shirt and a Sultai baby bitch.
Orzhov on the streets, Sultai in the sheets.
It's like, no, you can't have a waterbed.
You can't have a waterbed because I already have one.
The one left, yeah.
Exactly. It has a hole in it, but we don't talk about that.
Damn it.
Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Benji and to Geek for both joining us on this episode. Tell us what you thought. Leave like, comment, subscribe. Check out our other dungeon delving videos where we're talking about the other main sets. And let us know, did you like this crew? Would you want to see this crew come back to talk about Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy?
Wild cards.
It's so many legendaries. So many legendary
You don't have to
creatures.
worry about that until the sealed video.
Da, da,
The top 5, you don't have to choose the legendary, so it's fine.
Luckily, right now, the confirmed packs, Final Fantasy is not one of them, thankfully, but that is subject to change at the drop of a pin.
I know that as soon as we're going to go make the video, they're going to change it and Final Fantasy is going to be up there and I have to talk about 115 freaking legendary creatures.
If that happens, that is a video on of its own.
Of its own. It's a video where I just do a PowerPoint. There's no audio. It just goes through each one with a letter grade. But folks,
It's really just you power pointing, and
Yeah.
you're pointing at something that says "read the cards yourself."
it just says Final Fantasy? No. Folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You've cleared every room. You've looted all the treasure. Thank you for joining us for Dungeon Delving.